evening. Welcome. It's wonderful to be on Gino's spot.
Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. Want a drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver, get to Gino's spot.
Gino's spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino's spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino's shot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino's spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino's spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino's spot.
Gino's spot.
You should never book a holiday when you are hungry. It's not to say that I did not enjoy Brussels or Turkey. It was 2 for the price of 1 at the veterinarian today. Although my other dog didn't really need to be put down. Oh, I'm gonna have Callaghan give me a little message on that one. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gino's Spot, coming to you live, all the way from St. Francis Bay tonight. That's why I don't have my normal background story going on, but I do have my drinks. Here. I have my little Fitchin Leeds. Thank you very much to Fitchin Leeds. Where's my stuff, Gary? I need my stuff on the screen. There we go. Thank you to our sponsors, of course, Fitchin Leeds and Spa. And Spa as well. Wonderful to be here in St. Francis with Spa and Fitchin Leeds. And of course our internet Amubia. Welcome on board, everybody. I see this is going to be a great show tonight. Everybody's locked down and tied to their homes again. Wayne Jepson all the way. Where are you, Wayne? I never know where these bloody Jepsons are. If they're in England or California or God knows where. And Wendy Thompson. Hello, Mr. Fabbri. You're going to whack it out the park tonight. We hope we're going to whack it out because we have Dave Callaghan. Woo! Dave Callaghan in the studio. Callas, woo! Is part of the fibre of the Eastern Cape indeed. And we're going to be chatting to him tonight, finding out all about it. We're going to get the inside track on the SA team as well. Erica Fenter, fantastic to have you on as well. I hope you're doing okay. Erica, of course, an actress, lovely actress, and we hope you're doing well. Marina van Eden Moss. Oh, right, Moss. We're missing all our gigs that we used to do together, Marina. So I hope it's going to be all good. Jepson, California. I wish they all could be Wayne Jepson's friends. That's right. California. Indeed. Fantastic. All over the world tonight. That's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's just say that we're going to have a fab time tonight. Indeed, we are going to have a marvelous time. And we're going to start off with a little bit of song. I think we always do. Send me your comments. Tell me whereabouts you are. Tell me about what you're drinking. We're drinking a bit of Fitchin Leeds. Where's my banners, Gary? I don't see any banners across the screen here. I want my banners. And let's just get on with the song. Let's do it with a little song. And let me see your comments. Let's see where you're watching from, what you're drinking. All right. That's right. Oh, dear. Oh, hang on. We're not gonna, that's not going to work. Hang on. Ooh, we're going to do this. Right, we're going to get this right before we go. We can't have that. We can't have that happening here. So there's all sorts of stuff happening here. Because we are away from our normal area. There we go. Are we gonna work with this? Oh, come on, let's go. Ah, there we go. All right, that's nice. I like that. Here we are. That sounds nice, eh? And I've got my spar and my vigilance. Woo! All right. All the way from St. Francis Bay. That's right. And Lizard House Howell is here tonight. Ooh. And Sue Road says, Gino, are you alright? I don't like cricket, I love it. Kelly Botman Babu Holmes is at Holmes tonight. And oh, a very good evening tonight. That's right. Angela Mayula with lots of vowels in your surname. Marsha Weber is hello from Chile. Chile fever. Said, oh, Gordon writes here, all in the Karoo. Go, Gordon, from Gino and Dave, yes, right. Gary Fincham, that's right, from UK. All right. The Porters in town are here tonight. That's Jose Pereira and Michelle Telford. A little bit of gin is here tonight. It's all the way from PE with Keith tonight. That's right. I said go. Linda van der Vest stays on. Woo, I said go. Go, Johnny. Rob Taylor too. He said the Fippy boys are getting a lesson tonight. Oh yeah. I said, oh, go Johnny. Jimmy Wild. They're saying hello. Oh Johnny. Hey, hello Roseanne Binks as well. Fantastic. All right, let's just stop there. That's wonderful. We got it running on the other. All sorts of things are going to go haywire tonight because we're doing a live from St. Francis Bay. Angela Mayuda. That's right. Well done indeed. And Michael Clement all the way down from Simistrand. I check your little videos every now and again. Michael Clement checking out what the sunrise is like on. You can check out Michael's feed for that if you need to know the sunrise in PE every morning. That's right. And Reese telling hello, Gino and Dave indeed watching from Canada, all the way from Canada. Isn't that insane? Oh, this is the beauty of Gino Spot. You can watch it from anywhere and you can immediately put a little thing. I don't know what time it is there in Canada. You probably should be working. I think you should be working, Reese. Yeah, that's right. I don't know. Very quick. How's it, Barry? Nice to see you online as well. And you see, everybody's locked down and they're saying, I don't like cricket, I love it. Even my wife is here watching somewhere in the house. Clinton Fleming, how's it? Lovely to see you as well. All right, we're gonna get onto things here because we have Wayne Brown. He's gonna be on. We're gonna say how's it to Callis in a moment. Indeed. Your coffee is great. Oh, thank you very much, Linda. I'm glad. I see Gordon was also having a bit in the Karoo there. Of course, the coffee is going. We can make a little time for that, of course. He's got the 70s, the 80s, and the 50s. Choose your one. Woo! It's very lekker. I tell you what, the blend's been so beautiful. I mean, so happy, and it's selling at the spa. So keep on supporting. Buy the coffee. That is going to be a winner. I'm loving it. I just love that coffee. It's beautiful. Wayne Jepson, 9:30 a.m. 9:30 a.m. Very nice indeed. Oh, that's fine. You should be working as well, you bastard. You're sitting there on social media watching Facebook or YouTube. Honestly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we always have Derryn Fuller on a Tuesday coming in to tell us about what you're watching. Let's have a look, Derryn. Derryn Fuller, welcome. Woo!
Greetings, good sir. How are you?
I'm fabulous. I'm fabulous indeed. I'm having a bit of it's in my little happy place in St. Francis. I've got my EP outfit on. Can you see? It's EP,
it looks fantastic. I would have taken the opportunity though to have like an under the sea background. Or a space background.
Oh, we could have done something. Maybe we should have green screen it next time. We'll have to do something like that.
Exactly. I want a green screen.
Oh, it's a bit slack, I've just came off the beach.
You look great.
Thank you. And you look absolutely wonderful. Have you just put that GHD straight through that hair of yours?
No. My hair naturally looks like this. I wake up and it just looks like this.
It's just like that. Oh,
it's just
I'm
like
very
that.
impressed.
I mean, I know. I'm very lucky.
Marvelous. Well, Derryn, tell us what we should be watching.
Of course. Hello, everyone. Please do note my cassette earrings. I love them. They're like so 80s, 90s. Anyway, okay. So this last week, I incidentally have been watching a lot of Jane Austen, but we won't get into that. We'll have a Jane Austen episode at some point. Ooh, anyone who's actually tell me if they're wanting me to do like a particular type of episode as well. I mean, you can always tell me you want me to do something particular. But so from this week, the new things that I did watch, number one was I watched, there's 2 episodes out of Loki. Okay, so as a lot of you might know, the Marvel universe, after all the films, has been continuing through series. So there's been the Hawkeye. Anyway, Winter Soldier. There's been WandaVision, and now there is Loki. There's a Hawkeye series coming out, and then they'll continue on into the movies. But Loki is fantastic. And okay, guys, I know if you follow Marvel, you might be a bit confused because at a certain film, Loki wasn't looking too good. But this is completely, it's so difficult. I don't want to give you guys any spoilers. All I can say is that it is a continuation from the movies. It is nothing you could possibly expect, but it is so funny. It is so good. And I mean, it's taken the character of Loki, and within one episode, his character has grown so much, and it has Owen Wilson in it. It is such a fantastic series. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's only the 2nd episode, so please do watch Loki. And Tom Hiddleston is just so charming. I mean, Anyway, so Loki, really, really good. I watched this new film that came out, which is called Awake, with Gino Rodriguez in it from Jane the Virgin. I do love the premise. Essentially, one day we're all driving around and it's like, and we've lost electricity, and basically nothing's working. It's kind of a little bit like South Africa with Eskom. But anyway, so everything goes down. There's no electricity, nothing's working. But then all of a sudden they figure out that nobody can sleep, which is a problem because I like an afternoon nap myself. So it turns out that no one can actually sleep except for the protagonist's daughter. So it's a rush to try and figure out, how did this happen? How will we fix it? Because apparently we only last a few days before we go completely crazy, start shooting each other, etc., etc., etc. So that's Awake. It was very intriguing, a very intriguing concept. I always do love a good sci-fi. And then, so I watched quite a serious film, The Abduction of Lisa McVeigh. It was, wow, so it's based on a real story of this girl who did really get abducted by this serial killer, and she manages to actually convince him to let her go. And people actually don't believe that she was abducted because, she actually managed to escape. Well, not escape, managed to actually convince him to let her go. So this is a real story, and I must admit it was at times a bit of a difficult watch. And you know me, I love my crime, but it was such a great film. I mean, such a great story, such an amazing girl. So really, I definitely, I would definitely say watch that. And then back to crazy things, Orphan. So guys, I know this isn't a new film. I don't know, probably like 2011-ish. But Orphan, if you haven't watched it, it's one of the best horrors I've ever seen. I really love it. So this cute couple, they go to adopt a child, and they find this adorable, cute young girl who just isn't really meshing with anyone. But of course, she meshes with this couple, and they adopt her, and all is lovely until it's not. So she's a little bit more interesting than they thought. So that's a really good film. If you haven't watched that, please do. It is on Netflix. Also, a new series that was released. I haven't started yet, but that's my bad. Not because I haven't wanted to. Is called Cutler. It's Icelandic, I think. But guys, a catastrophic eruption of a subglacial volcano turns a town's world upside down because secrets emerge from the ice. I mean, what else could you want to know? So watch that. That sounds fantastic. That looks really good. And then also at the moment is a adorable 1994 Macaulay Culkin in Richie Rich. I know it's an older movie, but it's adorable. Richie Rich, Macaulay Culkin. I mean, he was gold. He's gold now. He's apparently going to star in American Horror Story. But do take your time to watch that. I absolutely. Ooh, Lucifer. Oh my gosh, Philippa. I finished Lucifer. That last episode, I almost died. It was the best thing I've ever seen. I needed smelling salts, and Shekin was great. So yes, aside from that, Drain the Oceans. It's this show. It's National Geographic. I don't know if you guys picked up. I kind of like the deep sea and creepy things. So it's called Drain the Oceans. And what they actually do is they things that they've found underneath the water that they haven't been able to really properly look at. For example, like the Titanic. They've actually found the technology so they can actually. They're not really draining, obviously, because you can't drain an ocean, but in theory, they can show you exactly what a wreck looks like. Like the first episode is about Nazi secrets, and it's about a Nazi vessel. So it's very intriguing if you like that sort of thing. And then the A-List. So like the A-List was a show that I watched 2018, so 3 years ago. I started it, and I thought it was like, but by the end, I was like, oh my gosh, this show is amazing. And it's full of intrigue. It's about these teenagers that go off to this island, and it's supposed to be kind of like this camping thing. And there's normal rivalries, you know, like the girls after the guys, and this girl's a little bit iffy, and the camp counselors. But wow, guys, wow, I took a turn. So it's supernatural. And it just ended on this cliffhanger, and I forgot about it. And just today, I saw this is second season. So watch that. That was actually really, really great. And then aside from that, guys, Fools Rush In. It's absolutely adorbs. Rom-com back in the day when Matthew Perry of Friends fame was at the height of his Friends fame and was starring Salma Hayek in a very cute rom-com. So it is adorbs. Matthew Perry's at the height of his fame, not like the recent Friends reunion. So I would definitely give that a second whirl if you haven't watched it already. And if you have, just watch it again. That's me. It's me for the week.
Marvelous indeed. And
Yeah.
we've been watching Shetland, and it's more
Shetland
about
is very
trying to
good.
understand what they're saying, because they're speaking Scottish in
Yes.
Scottish accent, and then I don't know if it's English or not.
Oh, I know.
'Cause sometimes they
I
talk
know.
so fast. I wish I was about that. You must never. You know?
I know. I
Just
love
like,
it.
what?
I know. It's even more mysterious because, you know, you have no idea what's happening.
I know. It's like you gotta
No.
guess. You gotta maybe put the subtitles on as well if you're watching Shetland.
I know.
'Cause
It's a glorious
to
language.
Translate from
Glorious
Scottish.
Yes, exactly. Oh, when I was there, I couldn't understand anyone. I really felt like an idiot. It was really embarrassing.
I know.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to Awake. I'm going to try that. I like that sort of thing where they can't go to sleep. What are they going to do?
I know.
Oh, okay.
People go cray really quickly, and I can imagine
really?
that because I like napping, and I wouldn't last very long if I couldn't nap. So
And I
People
love
go crazy.
your cassette tapes. Are beautiful. On your,
thank you. Thank you so much.
I love that. And I don't know what that other thing is.
What? My pen?
I don't know. Is it something that guys need when they go to the doctor and they're over 45?
No.
No.
I would say tragically not, but I'd say hopefully not.
I don't know.
No,
Okay, fine.
it's just a pen that kind of looks like the pen from Clueless.
Yes. Oh, very nice. Lovely. You can use it for your makeup as well. Enjoy.
Of course.
Thanks, Derryn. You've been
Only a
fantastic.
pleasure.
As per usual.
Median on.
Ciao. All right, that's Derryn Fuller. Always a little bit insane. Indeed. Reese, how's it? Ooh, it is 13:39 in isolation as I recently travelled to the North Country. Well, oh dear, that's you got to try and keep the travelling to a minimum these days. I think Jacques Landman, Callas, a true legend, of course. Callas, a true legend of the game. Indeed, we're going to find out all about that. And let's have a little introduction for Dave Callaghan. All right, and here is Dave. Welcome on to Gino's Spot.
Thank you, Gino.
What a marvelous day to have you on. We're getting into the sports, guys. Finally, we're doing a bit of sports, and we haven't.
You've had a great number of I was going to say clients. I think I'm still at work, but
Yes.
great number of participants on your show. Yeah, I mean,
We have.
I mean,
When we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel now, So we're
No,
getting.
definitely. Yeah, I'm right at the bottom of the barrel at the moment. That's what happens when you get old and retired.
Oh, Callis, I'm so glad you were able to come on, man. And we really sort of gone into the whole sports thing quite recently with a couple of sports guys, and we had Alec Riddle on a little while ago, which I know is there's always been confusion between you and Alec Riddle for some reason. I've got no idea why.
That's one of the reasons why I've cut my hair so short, because he keeps getting asked. I mean, even today I had somebody phone me and he's like, we were chatting away and he said, "Hey, Alec," so he said, "Hey, Dave, that race that we're running on the weekend," I'm going, "I haven't run a race for a long time."
You haven't done any running, so you don't you don't run. You don't run.
No, well, I mean, look, Kepler made us run up and down brickmakers so much that eventually I had a knee replacement. So I had to stop running.
You still blame him for that?
Yeah, no, I blame everything on Kepler. I mean, those days, there was no scientific way of training. It was up and down the stairs at St. George's Park Cricket Ground, then down brickmakers and up brickmakers and down brickmakers, and then through St. George's Park and then up to St. George. I think it's the gardens there, up there and around the park. There was nothing scientific. It was all hard and tough, And,
you poor bastards. It's like a camp staldraut.
So it does. I mean, I remember going to the one evening we went to NMU in those days, UPE, to watch a boxing thing, and this is how this whole sort of professionalism came about. And and a couple of us, Kepler said to us, "Come along, let's go for a beer or two." Yeah. So we were there watching this. Kepler was into boxing, and they had the indoor arena there, and they had this boxing match on. And afterwards, we had a couple of beers with some of the people. And next minute, Kepler was gone. So at the end of the evening, I got in my Beetle, and it was a horrible day. It was about this time of the year, and it was windy, and it was raining, and I was driving along Marine Drive. And next to me, out of the corner of my eye, I saw this guy with a raincoat and a hat on, jogging along the beach. And I stopped. And I looked out my head and I said, out of my window of the car, and I said, "Kepler, what are you doing?" He said, No, I'm training. I said, "But you just had 3 or 4 beers. Now you're training." He said, No, I have to work it out.
You work out the beers. I'm surprised you had a heart attack yet.
No, well, I work out. We used to work. Some of us used to work out the beer afterwards, or the day afterwards, or 2 days afterwards.
Oh, Dave, but your history. Let's go into a little bit of history first. Let's go way back. You born where?
Can you believe it? Queenstown, eh? I'm a real Eastern Cape guy. So I was born in Queenstown, and I went to school I started off at Stutterheim for about 2 weeks, I think it was. Yeah. And then my father didn't think it was a good enough school for me, so he then sent me to Dale. He then sent me his alma mater. He sent me to Dale.
Of course, Dale. Yes.
Yeah, and then
I thought it would be Queen's College in Queenstown.
Yeah, then he went to teach at Queen's, so he took me to Queen's with him after that.
Oh, so he went.
Then I went to Queenstown, yeah. And then he went to teach at Selborne. So then I followed him to Selborne for a couple of years. Oh, my soul. And then he got a position in Port Elizabeth at Greenwood Primary, right across the road from the cricket ground. And I then followed him and went to Grey. So I've been very fortunate to go to Dale, Queen's, Selborne, and Grey, which is
good Lord. I mean, that's all of them. It's like the pick of the border schools there doing that. I mean,
the funny thing is the schools, if you're doing well, they all want to claim you as an old boy. When you're doing bad,
of course.
Wants you.
Take it. They love that. They love it. And I see Linda van der Westhuizen's online. She's from Queenstown as well, so we must watch how we talk about Queenstown. Yeah. I see John Roycroft there saying, "Hello, Callis, played with you against Sussex back in the early 80s. Do you remember John?"
Hello, John. How are you going? Gee, that's a long time ago. I think that was my first trip. I remember going to Sussex. My dad Colin Rushmere had to convince my father to send me there, because my dad said to me, look, you need to go to, my boy, you need to go to university, or you need to go to the army. You can't.
I
What's
know.
playing cricket? You know what I mean? You're wasting a year. So anyway, so we had a meeting at the Rushmere's house where Rushmere, late Colin Rushmere, convinced my dad to send me overseas for a year, and that's how I ended up playing at Sussex. And the interesting thing, playing at Sussex, the year before me was Mark Rushmere went there, and the year after me, Cole Bowmaster went. So Sussex and Eastern Province had a good connection. And then obviously the coach was a guy by the name of Alistair Story, who ended up being coach here for a year or two as well. So there's always those strong ties between Sussex and in Eastern Province.
Yes. But I mean, all those schools, that's fantastic. I love that, because those are all those proper border schools, farmers from Albany through to Karoo side, it's like, it's insane.
Yeah, and look at the nice part about it. My son's been through Sean, my son's been through this whole schooling and sports atmosphere, and it's been wonderful, because whenever I go back, I meet guys that I played with, and their sons are also playing, and there's this whole connection between the school and your boys and their boys, So it's been wonderful. It's all come to an end now. The kids are a little bit older now, but it was wonderful. It was wonderful while it lasted.
No, fantastic. And I mean, I know that. I mean, through school now. So you were junior school. You were already in at Queenstown, Dale. Were you playing then already? Playing sport then from early age?
Yeah, I always. Look, I love sport, and my father was a teacher and a sports master. I mean, my old man's probably listening, but I like to say he was a silent somebody in the background that sort of inspired me a lot. In that he never said too much. He just encouraged me. So and he was involved in coaching. So, for instance, when we were in Queenstown while he was coaching, I mean, he was coaching the under-11s, and I was an 8-year-old or 7-year-old around there, and I used to play. I used to be involved with the fielding practices, and they used to allow me to have a bat afterwards, and bowl to them and everything like that. So that's how I started in Queenstown. And the same went off to when I went off to Selborne. Then I had a professional coach there at Selborne, during our PT sessions. Instead of doing bolomakisis and all those type of things, and
vaulting.
Vaulting. I mean, really. Some of us used to go to the cricket nets and have cricket practices. And there was a guy by the name of Richard Kent, who was my coach there, and he was a border player.
Okay.
So as we go along through my schooling career, I was very fortunate to have some wonderful coaches, and then obviously when I came to Selborne. To Grey, the likes of the Ethel McKinnons, Jeff Cook from England, Dave Capel was towards the end, Rod McLennan. There's just so many people that were involved in my cricketing career, and I looked.
So you can say that there's like one person that put you onto cricket, maybe your father, but I mean, I know for a musician or something, they often have just one or two little kinks in their life plan, that when I saw drums for the first time, I was like, that's what I want to do. So it wasn't really, there was so much there already for you. Yeah.
It was all there, it was just for me to pick up something and run with it, and enjoy it, but sport was, in all that time, I was playing rugby as well. So rugby was a real passion of mine as well. So, I played in all the A sides, if you want to call it that, 9A, 9A, and 10B, that type of thing. So there's like 10A, 11As, and that type of thing through. So there was always a rugby ball or a cricket ball near me.
For sure. Borders, were you a border?
No, I wasn't.
I was a day boy.
My parents used to say to me, we used to live in just below the Glendunning Police Station there in or Mount Croy Police Station in
Mount Croy, yes.
And my parents, and there was no cell phones in those days, so I used to leave home at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, so I could get to school and least have a play some cricket before school. And then
Jeez,
when it got dark, I used to eventually come walking through the front door. My parents used to be then nuts, especially in winter. I used to kick rugby balls until it was dark, and then sort of walk home in the dark. So
yeah.
where have you been? You should have been
Yeah.
a boarder. You wouldn't have worried so much about you.
Yeah, it's like okay, you got to be home before dark. So when it gets dark, then you start walking. When you can't see the rugby ball anymore.
Exactly. Well, the fetcher couldn't find it.
Oh man, I see Gary's got a whole pile of comments here. Let's have a look at some of the comments. I see China Bell said, "How's it?" Multi-talented sports star, indeed you are. And there, Miranda Ferreira saying, "Good evening, Gino and Dave." Hello, Miranda. And what's a trumpeter?
Yeah,
Bianca.
Bianca actually works for my wife. She's
Lovely.
Yeah, one of our employees has worked. Thanks, Bianca, for watching.
lovely. And Reese is there as well. I see. Good looking,
Reese, I must add a story. Reese coached for me. I don't know if you followed Reese's story. Reese has been he got married to a Canadian, and it's taken him 2 years to get to his family, and he got there.
Shame.
I think about 2 or 3 days ago. And as he said in the previous comment, he's in isolation before he meets up with his family again. So, so Reese used to do a bit of cricket coaching for me, and he played for Eastern Province for a few years.
Nice. See my EP jacket
in the junior side before he went to Transvaal. So he's a good cricketer, or was a good cricketer.
Magic.
Like we all were.
And I see Marijn saying that you learned Afrikaans. Jy het Afrikaans geleer toe jy rugby gespeel het.
Put it this way, I'm glad Marijn's comments are in English, put it that way.
My word. And Carl Baumister says
that's a legend, right? Carl Baumister, that's now another legend. Can you believe
Absolutely. EP days as well.
1989 final. Changed it.
Indeed.
And
Guy de Bruins.
Yes, guys.
Indeed. Fitch and Leeds. We're here, Guy. We've got it all. We've got it all, yeah. And Gavin Loon, I see now. Gavin Loon was in my year, Gavin, and we used to play rugby in his backyard there with a couple of oaks. I see no Rochdale stories, please. I think we'll have to have at least one. What is Rochdale?
Look, I think this is a family show. So Gavin Gavin came over as my amateur when I was at Rochdale in 1989. I think he must have left school about 88, 89, somewhere around there.
Yeah, 89 would have been because I was 88 matrix, yeah.
88, yeah. So 89, and then Gavin came over and he was my amateur overseas. And the funny story about that one, his dad, who recently passed away,
yes,
in Australia, said to me, Gavin and I, will you please find Gavin a job? So I said, yeah, okay, fine. He can't just sit on his backside the whole time. He needs to go and work and earn some money. So anyway, I thought to myself, while I'm playing cricket there, I might as well join him as well, earn some extra money, So we went to the local employment agency and we put our names down.
Yeah.
And the one day we got a phone call to say, please come along for an interview. So we arrived there for the interview. And we found out that the job was to clean, I don't know if you know those big chimneys, those very, very hard mills in the UK up north.
Like a chimney sweep.
Chimney cleaners, yeah. It was about 100 meters in the sky, and I'm petrified of height. I just said, no, I'm not prepared to do that. So then we got given a job to paint a pub called Baron Courtney. It was just outside a place called Rochdale. And we got paint. And Gavin and I used to paint from about 8 o'clock until 12, until all the patriots used to start arriving. And then it used to be quite interesting to go in and have a beer at lunchtime. And then we never got back to doing any more painting that afternoon. And then after about a week or two, we realized we weren't making any more money.
Stop paying you.
Very Courtney's, yeah.
Oh my word! I see Rushmere bowled Callaghan. I think it was EP Trials on the front field. Honestly, these guys that bring up this stuff,
This year, Gino, if you've got time for stories, I've got stories. Okay, so that, the story about that one, and it reverts back to there was another friend of mine that was online earlier, in Wayne Brown. Okay, so
Yeah.
what happened was the big game of the season was Woodridge versus Grey. Okay,
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
Grey
okay.
field. And
Yes.
my mom and dad were keen to go and watch. Were keen to watch this game, and I was obviously geared up to bold rush me out because he was my man. I needed to get him out, and I was an opening bowler, the whole lot.
Okay.
So my parents, instead of waking me up, well, they probably did wake me up, and they went off and did their morning shopping down in those days, probably the shopping centre down in the old Govan in Becky
Main Street.
Yeah, on the main street. They went down.
Okay, bazaars. Yeah.
No, not AK Bazaar. It's not the other one. I think it's got all the ships in it and that. I can't remember it. Anyway.
Garlics.
Somewhere down there. Anyway.
Yeah.
So off they go and they do their shopping, and I wake up and fall asleep again. And when I woke up, it was 10:30 already, and the game started at 10.
Oh.
So this you weren't allowed to drive to school in those days. Okay, so I buggered that. So I jumped in the car. I had a little Beetle. My mom and dad had a Beetle. I jumped in the Beetle, and I floored it up to the school through the front gate. I didn't matter. I was anything, and as I'm going past the front of the school, the rector, those days, Dieter Parkendorf, was waiting for me. Stopped the vehicle. I had to go into his office and explain to him, and then got 2 cuts for being late from him. Okay. Then got out, walked in, got into the car, drove another 100 meters, parked the car in the car park outside the hostel at Grey.
Yeah.
Then go into the change room in the hostel, and there was Rod McLennan and Ethel McKinnon waiting for me, and they gave me a mouthful as well. And then when I walked out onto the field about 45 minutes late, Wayne Brown came up to me and he said to me, "I'm punishing you." I said, "What?" "Oh, no." He said, No, you're not bowling until after tea. And I said, "Oh, you can't do that to me. I want to get on and rush me." Anyway, Mark stroked 140 that day. He had a really good innings.
Because you weren't bowling, that's why.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, I had my opportunity, but it was with an older ball, you know. Then come the end of at the end of the innings, I go out to bat, and Mark and his dad had this theory, okay, that if you won the toss and sent the opposition team into bat, you weren't really keen to win the game. So they had this theory. So they batted until basically tea time in the afternoon, and they left us probably about 40 overs to get about 220 or whatever it is, which was in those days, I mean, a strike rate of nearly 5 or 6 is like impossible in those days.
Yes.
And well, I decided that I'm going to go for it, and I got a quick 50, and then suddenly Mark Reshma came into bowl, and he had probably one of the worst actions I've ever seen of any bowler. And he bowled me a little in swinger, which I tried to hit through covers and got an inside edge and got bowled. Well, at the age of 57, 56 now, when we all get together, he still reminds me of that.
He reminds you.
So
now you know,
another person on this show reminding me as well. So.
Yes, I see. Well, that was a very, very, very long excuse that you gave there, Dave, for being bold. And I see, Jean Peter, you've been an inspiration while growing up as well. And
thanks, Sean.
And I see, there's Stephen Brousseau saying, remember the British Open golf when you were playing at St. Anne's? What on earth did you do? Did you have to play second?
Stephen's married to my first cousin, Alison Brousseau. So Alison Kemp, also from the old Cathcart Queenstown family. Yeah. So Stephen and when they were very young, they came up. We had a house about 200 meters from the St. Anne's Golf Club, and the British Open was being played there. And Gino, I had everyone staying with me that year. I had so many friends.
One of those open party.
It was lovely to see family there, I must say.
Lovely. And so that's I mean, family obviously important. So early years, siblings.
Yeah, I've got my brother John,
Yeah.
Both of them not with us. My brother and my sister, and they're both not with us at this stage of their lives. But yeah, they're always with us. You know, at every family gathering. John was also at Grey.
Okay.
And Anne was at Collegiate, and then went to VG in Grahamstown. Yeah.
Oh, so VG as well. Proper Albany, proper Albany family. This
she went to boarding school there. I think she decided that boarding school is better for her. So.
All right. I see Ellen Hyde saying, "How's it? Looking good."
Another school friend of mine. Yep, that's great.
Oh, you go. There's a whole lot of oaks. I see Wayne Brown asking as well. Have you retired already? Says Garth Webster. Oh no. Callis, ask Callis why. He says why was he late for the first team match? Is that a first team match? Was it another time you were late?
No. That is the exact match I'm talking about.
All right, that's the one as well. I see. A principal at Greenwood there, Sean Pauls. Here we go. Sonic Youth. Of course, we just had Duncan and the guy, so he was part of Sonic Youth as well, John. Wow.
Yeah, Johnny is Duncan. Who was the other one? There was Williams boy,
Craig Hort.
Yeah,
they were there.
Those guys. I think they caused. If you see my father now, he's not grey, he's white, and I think they caused the majority of it. Yeah.
Well, that is story about garlics as well. There's Derek Alberts for you as well, saying great guest.
Oh no, he's a legend. Derek's a legend now of Supersport there. Eh?
You know, he's one of those famous Supersport people these days. He doesn't really keep in touch with us punters down here in the Eastern Cape anymore. Dave Hazelden, because Dave's one of our counsellors as well, sorting out the potholes and the street lights and stuff. He's going to get a rush of people asking him. And Amy, so lucky to hear the stories.
That's Amy. That's my sister's child, Amy. Yeah.
Okay. And I see your daughter wants a shout out as well. I see somebody said that your daughter wanted a shout out.
I haven't seen her comment come up.
I don't know. No, it was somebody else that I just saw it come through. There's so many comments coming through. I just see one and I'm like, whew, there you go, waiting for that bri. You see, when you promise things to guys, Dave, when you promise guys that you're going to have a bri, and then you just don't, and then nothing. You know what I mean? They're the oaks waiting.
Well, the problem is lockdown came. So Sean, sorry man, Sean supplied me a bri just before lockdown. He cut a barrel.
He actually gave you the freaking bri.
So and then lockdown came, so we haven't had him around to thank him. So I think he's hinting there. I think he's really hinting.
I think possibly. I think possibly. Mark Stemmet said, "Great B boys, lekker." From GQ now, Kaibecha,
Yeah.
And Komani. Is it Komani?
Yeah, no, come. I can't remember. Komani is Queenstown. Komani.
Yeah, Komani. And Conte, King Williamstown. There we go. And I see Cathcart's is here as well. Oh, there's it. Build it, Brian Hayward. There's your father-in-law, all the way from George. Build it.
That's my brother-in-law.
Is it your brother? So your brother-in-law. He's running the build it there, eh?
He might. I think he looks like my father-in-law.
No, I saw him recently. Actually, I did see him recently. The Hayward clan, because of course Sharon was a tennis player. Did she play EP tennis as well?
Yeah, she was a tennis player.
Yes.
Yeah,
Warmer 10th.
I mean, she had at one stage she was in the top 10 of South Africa's tennis under 18.
You don't choose a lady like that. It's just she's obviously chose you.
I met her while she was on a tennis tour.
Oh, in her little tennis skirt, no doubt.
Yeah, and no, we go back a long way back. Put it this way, and the family do, and then I met her, and then we met up in Pretoria during one of the what they call Nissan Shield finals in those days. She was playing tennis. She was playing tennis for UPE or NMU, whichever you want to call it.
Yes, UPE. Yeah.
And her mom and my mom had met up they were at school together. Can you believe it? In King Williamstown.
King
And
Williamstown.
they met,
So an arranged
Yeah.
marriage.
exactly, yeah. And then they met up in Greenacres the once, and they said, Sharon's mom said to my mom, can you believe? Sharon's up in Pretoria. So my mom says, oh, no, I'll ask David for tickets. So my mom phones me and says to me, complimentary tickets. And my mom phones me and said, Dave, the UPE tennis team's up there. Can you organize tickets for them? I said, yeah, sure, Mom. No problem. Now I'm thinking, I don't know who I'm organizing tickets for. I really don't know who it is. But anyway, yeah, okay. So they came to the hotel that evening to collect them, and I left them at reception. And I was upstairs chatting away. And I went to a couple of guys that played tennis at like Philip Am and Mark Rushmere played a bit of tennis and that. And I said to them, guys, do you know the tennis girls? You know, who are they? No, they don't know. They don't play league tennis and that time. So what I did was I kept note of which tickets I'd given away. Okay, the seat numbers. Okay. And I made sure that I went and fielded in front of those seat numbers so I could see who the tennis girls were. Yeah,
So
exactly.
people actually do that. I mean, you actually did. You managed to pull that off.
I pulled it off. I even convinced Kepler. Yeah, and that was tough. That was tough. But it was down in a key position, down a third man or a backward point.
Right.
So I fielded down there, and then just for the first half, they didn't even come. There was nobody there. Those seats were empty. And I thought, no, I've wasted about 6 complimentary tickets here. Cheapers. What's going on here?
And all that arguing to get them there.
Exactly. And then just before the end of the innings, because we were batting second, I could see these girls come walking through, and then I realized, gee, that's Sharon from PE. I know Sharon, and then I started putting 2 and 2 together, and that's how
there
the
we
whole
go.
thing worked,
So then you went over, said hello, and one thing led to another.
To another, yeah, exactly.
Yes. Oh man, that is so cool. I see Sue Rhodes is online as well. Along with having a few other teachers. Your mom gave us Xhosa lessons. Is that right?
Yeah.
So obviously,
my mom was brought up on a farm in Queenstown, Cathcart area.
Okay.
So she was a teacher as well. My dad was a teacher as well, as I said. They were both teachers, and my mom was very fluent at Xhosa. So she was able to take Xhosa lessons. Yeah.
I just love that. Growing up on a farm, best way to learn Xhosa as well. I do it at varsity, and I wished I'd learned it earlier, because it's a lot more difficult when you're older. And it's Cathcart. Is that the Hart, the Excel Hart, and that lot? They're down there. I think Cathcart way. Right, yeah. Alan Fryer's online.
And actually, my parents have retired there. They've retired
in
Cathcart as well. Okay. Yeah. So they've got in a place called Kelly Evans Lodge. They've retired there. And it's wonderful for them to reunite with a whole lot of their old friends and that. So it's great for them.
Isn't it cool? I mean, that is really like. Do you? I mean, you've got your cricket world where you meet so many people and but your family and your close friends. I mean, that's everything, really, isn't it?
Yeah, look, we're a very close family. Our immediate family are very close. So, that for us, that's everything. So we and then on touch to that is all these wonderful friends and people, that we have. And I mean, I'm just looking at some of the names coming up here. There's another guy, Ian Smith. I mean,
he was president of Rhodesia before Mugabe.
No, not that one. No,
not that one. Okay.
He was president of SA Tennis at one stage, and he was very involved with SA Cricket when I was playing. So he's been around for a long time as well. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. So coming back to the family, we're a close family. As I was mentioned before, my dad and my wife's dad, Errol, they knew each other very well before we even got married. And my folks, my mom and dad, so everyone's been very close. My mom and Sharon's mom went to school together. Sharon and I, they used to holiday together at a place called Glen Eden near East London. Okay. So,
were they at GHS then?
They were. Is it Kaffir?
Yes, girls' high school. Kafrarian and
Girls High.
Kafrarian. Yeah, that's the
That's
KHS now. It's called.
KHS, yeah.
Yes,
Then
yes,
Girls
yes.
High's in Queenstown.
Yes. Girls' high
Yeah.
schools. Because that was my mother-in-law was there. You're now in Queenstown, going to GHS.
And GHS.
Indeed, the border region. And so, and I see, need you in SA cricket, says Ian Smith. They need
Thanks,
you.
Ian.
And I believe because you were supposed to be captaining the veterans team.
Yeah, we did. I saw earlier on there was Roy Misa. He also he was on I see him on the comments there earlier. He said, "Am I still in the nets?"
Yes.
Not quite, Roy. But yeah, we're getting there. Obviously, summer another 3 months away, and then we'll start practicing. Unfortunately,
Back in.
our Veterans League or World Cup was called off halfway through, and we were doing quite nicely. We'd beaten the West Indies, we'd beaten England. In a very tight game. We'd beaten, I think Wales. Yeah, Wales we'd beaten.
Yeah.
And we were busy playing India at the time when I got the message to say, guys, at the end of the innings, they're calling the tournament off. So it was a really sad day for all of us. And the reason being is that it happens every 2 years. And unfortunately, at the age of 50, a lot can happen in 2 years. So you don't know if you're going to be available in the next 6
You know. Oh, that is insane. And I wish I could say to you that I don't know how it feels, but I do. I know, to be shut down with everything. Oh my word. How about them stories from the old grey cricket games? Oh my word. I could just imagine those.
Hello, Nick. Nick's done really well. Yeah, he's moved to Joburg. Here's another old grey mate of mine, Jerry Bosman.
Jerry Bosman,
They're all old grey mates. Yeah, I tell you, I retired from cricket in 2003, and I moved off to Cape Town for a couple of years. And I came back to PE, and I played 2 years in Cape Town in the PAL League, and it was really difficult, really hot conditions. And I thought I'd stop playing cricket. And when I got back to PE, the old grey contingent of Kevin Duckworth, Bosman, Loon, Garfield Sauls. I'm sure I'm going to name it and miss out a few, but they all called me and they said, "Please, Callis, Grant Padigal was another one, Terence Davis Taylor, all these guys called me. Come on, Callis, have a go again." And I must be honest, with no pressure of trying to play provincial cricket or professional cricket again, just to jol, just to play cricket with a bunch of guys. And these guys made cricket for me. It was some of the happiest days on the cricket field that I had ever had. I mean, it was really fun.
Man.
And I think the fines meetings afterwards were were quite horrendous. Put it this way, I'm scared of a fines meeting now. You know what I mean? So
I see Alec Riddle's got a story there about you getting it's that old chestnut. Yes, come on, let's get it out of the way. Tell us the story, Callis.
Yeah, well, I was in 92, 91, 92. I was over in Australia, and just before that, I had, we all know that I had testicular cancer. So many people, well, if you don't know, I had testicular cancer. And so I was over there in the World Cup, the World Series, they call it, in Australia, playing against Australia and New Zealand and South Africa in a quadrangular. And we were playing in Adelaide. No, it was Perth, sorry. And we needed to beat Australia and New Zealand Australia and New Zealand in 2 days to go through to the final. And the big game was obviously Australia. And I came in and I nicked off Mark Waugh, caught Macmillan at second slip, and he was out. And the next ball, I ran up and I bowled a beautiful away swinger, and Steve Waugh went on the drive and nicked it straight to the keeper, and he was out as well. Anyway,
imagine the EP Oaks at home, like,
yeah, exactly. Two of us, Port Richardson, bowled Callaghan,
Oh,
and
man.
So anyway, I got the man of the match in that game, and then the next day we went on and beat New Zealand. We were in the final, and I remember lying in my hotel room one day, and Tony Gregg having this talk show, and they were asking different questions and that type of thing, trying to trick each other. And he came up with this one thing. He said, guys, there's a South African cricketer that's touring South Africa at the moment who got both War brothers out with one ball. And everybody was looking at him thinking, what is going on here? What is this man all about? I mean, you can't get double play in cricket. How can you get two people out with one ball,
Yeah.
Anyway, it stumped everybody all the audience couldn't answer it. And eventually he said, well, there's this little man from the Eastern Cape. His name's Callaghan. He had his testicle removed when he had testicular cancer last year. He's only got one ball. And he got both War brothers out on the weekend.
Both War brothers out. Oh, my soul. Listen, I've got some friends who've dropped in a little bit. Let's see if Gary's got somebody. I'm not sure who's coming on, but let's have a look.
Dave Callaghan, one of my favourite cricketers, good friend. And one or two questions for the viewers and listeners. Perhaps Dave can just elaborate on these two things. First of all, Dave, you'll recall when we tried to get you and Louis Kuhn into shape one cricket season, you had to come to the Riddle Garage every morning at 5:30 or every second morning. Perhaps you'd like to tell us how you enjoyed getting into the shape of your life. And then also when you went up to Joburg for the corporate relay running in aid of cancer, and you just crossed the finish line, and the late George Coetsen was giving you a bit of lip, confusing you with another sportsman from the Eastern Cape. I'm sure we'll also get to hear all about the 169 not out against New Zealand on debut, your one-day debut. What a fantastic knock that was. But have a good evening. I'm sure Gino will keep you entertained. Cheers.
Thanks, Alec.
Alec, of course, like I said, you guys often get confused.
Yeah, we do. Like I said this earlier, I mean, somebody phoned me today about, work issues, bank account issues and he said, next, I'm so disappointed that race this weekend's been cancelled. And I'm going,
yeah.
Cancelled? What race are you talking about?
What race are you talking about?
Like a good citizen, I go, yeah. Sure, I'm sorry. Meanwhile, I haven't a clue what's happening.
Oh, no. That's very funny. What did he say about finishing a race there in Joburg? Was that somebody mistaken?
Yeah, that was the other thing. Somebody mistook me for Ali. So when I came in, and I don't know how you run, it was a 10K run, which I was a celebrity race, like a cancer run. Yeah, and it was around a lake, I can remember. And I flew up in the morning to do this race. And as I said, I've never run further than about 5Ks, or 6Ks with Kepler. Everything was like a pace,
Yes.
So they put me on the starting blocks, and off we go, So off I go. And before I knew it, this half-felt air got to me, okay? Anyway, I thought I couldn't disappoint anyone. I just kept on going and tried it. Anyway, I came in, I don't know if my daughter, Lee, she's a runner, and I listened to her times, and I mean, she's runs, 4 minutes a K and, this type of stuff. I must have been running about 6 or 7 minutes a K, all right? And when I came at the end, this guy started giving me flacker before running so badly because he thought I was Alec.
Because Alec's running sub 4 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, he arranged for me to go there. Not I was. It was him doing the race. He arranged for me to do it.
Oh, I love that. Because there have been times that I've also, I think I've done it the other way around as well. I've said, Dave, and it's been Alec. Oh, my soul.
Actually, I remember you did do that. You at the St. Francis at the
it was at a running race.
The triathlon on June Christmas, the one day you called me Alec.
Yeah, because you were sitting at a running race.
Exactly, yeah.
No,
what am I doing there?
I've learned the difference now.
Well, the only reason I'm at a running race, is because of my daughter. So.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Not because I'm partaking.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah. And you see me on a bicycle chasing you. That's it.
All right. Yes. I did see you were on a bicycle as well. I'll give you that. Oh no. But I see, and I know Gary's got another little message here from from one of the guys. Let me see who else he's got on here while we're doing the messages. There we go. There it comes.
What a pleasure it is to receive a call this afternoon from my good friend Gary Hemmings saying that my other good friend David Callaghan is going to be on the show this evening. And would I say a few words? And what a pleasure that would be, because I've known Callas for many, many years. I pulled him as a youngster from Grey High School to play cricket for Warm on a Sunday. He had respect for me in those days. He called me Mr. Emsley. Well, a year or two later, that faded, and we actually became really good friends. Timid he was in those days. He played for Warmer. Yes, sir. No, sir. Thank you, sir. But then he moved on a bit after his school days, and he went in the army and did some training. And I suppose he could be best described as wild and woolly, lifestyle and his cricket. But then something penny must have dropped, because he realised maybe he can play this game quite well, and that he should take it a little bit more seriously. So whilst he never stopped his fun, he took the game a lot more seriously than he did after his 2 or 3 years after he left school, and became a fine cricketer. Bat, bowl, field, throw. There's nothing Callas couldn't do, but as importantly as his cricketing skills, his fun as an individual. Always around him, there's fun. There's always a bit of laughter. There's always something happening when David John Callaghan's in the mix. Nothing vindictive, always just pure fun. I've played many games of cricket with him and against him on many occasions, and he's always a respectful guy to play against. And as I say, the word fun comes into my mind all the time. He also showed bits of cowardice from time to time. He's a bit of a coward one Sunday when a whole team of us went to visit a beach in Cape Town, and he's the only one that strutted around in his shorts because he thought he had body deficiencies. So he was a bit cowardly then, but I think it's the only time I've seen Callas in coward mode. Sometimes he had a lot of fun in the massive swimming pool type bath at Supersport Park, getting up to all sorts of antics there. So Callas, you had an outstanding career. More importantly, you've been a damn good guy to know as a friend. You've been a damn good guy to know as a cricketer. And you're a guy who just simply loves the game, wants nothing more than being involved with the game of cricket, whether it be coaching, whether it be watching, whether it be talking about it. He's just a fine fellow and a fine cricketing man. So it's my tribute to say a few words about Callas and the fun we've had together and the loss we've had. So all the best for the rest of your, I wouldn't say your playing career, but your cricket supporting career. And it wouldn't surprise me if Callas continues to pop up on the cricket field from time to time as a guest artist, because it's such his love of the game and interest in the game. So good knowing you, mate. I remember when you first played for EP Rugby, you a centre there, and I sent you a telegram saying good luck, you right little porker, because you were a bit of a porky in those days. But good luck to you. You've been a great example to many of us, and we continue to live your life with you. Cheers, pal.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, honestly, a porker. The Emsleys weren't known for their tact.
I'm sorry, you didn't warn me about that, because I'm sitting right here and I've just grabbed a file. And I thought maybe that I would have had that telegram. I have got it right here somewhere next to me.
Really?
When he sent me that message, good luck, you little porker.
Yeah. A telegram. You had to pay for every word. You had to pay for every single letter on a telegram. So it cost him.
I mean, can you believe it?
PORKE or six letters.
Can you believe it? Just before I went out to play my game, it was at Newlands. I got this telegram delivered to me at the airport. It's Dave from Dave Evans here. Dave, if you're listening, thanks very much for those kind words. Dave and I had, funny enough, going back to the Warmer days. As a schoolboy, we played in the men's league, but we weren't allowed to play on the Sunday.
Okay.
And so I was able to go and play for a club on a Sunday in another competition. And Dave Emsley asked me to go and play for Warmer with Carl Baumeister and Kennedy. And I think even those days, Peter van der Merwe could have been still playing. Marius van der Merwe, who was a wonderful wicketkeeper. And there were a number of guys there. Neil Russum. There was a whole lot of guys that played there. There were really some good cricketers playing for Warmer. Anyway, the following year, I was asked to play for Old Grey. And because Gavin Cowley was said to me, please come play for Old Grey. And I mean, they had, Bob White, Gavin Cowley, Kenny Watson. They had a number of Keith and Terry Reid, John Stevenson, and the whole lot.
Jesus.
And unfortunately, with me, without thinking about it and being like 14 or 15 or whatever it was, Dave phoned me and he said, this year on the weekend, we're playing the first of this competition, whatever it was. I said, no, Dave, I've decided to go and play for a better team. But it wasn't, I didn't mean to say it like that. I mean, I've been asked to go and play for, and it was like, it didn't come out really what I wanted to say. So, that's why he always brings up the Warmer days. You know what I mean? It always reminds me of those days.
Honestly, you're choosing your thing. Alvin Reeves. There's Alvin Reeves, of course. He was our cricket captain when I was in matric at 88. And he says, what about Pring and Warthog's Head? What the hell is that?
Well, as Dave says, we were full of practical jokes. And we had a player by the name of Eldin Baptiste playing for us at one stage. And Merrick was a very keen hunter. And he just arrived before practice at about 4 o'clock with a massive warthog head stuffed warthog head in his boot of his car.
Oh, jeez.
And Eldin Baptiste, who was absolutely petrified of anything like even a beetle or a spider, one of those rain spider. He was petrified of those things. So what we did was, while he was having a net, I picked up the warthog head. And in those days, we used to have these big coffins, okay? And I opened the coffin up and I put the warthog head in the coffin.
What do you mean you used to have these big coffins? Where did you find a bloody coffin?
We called them coffins, but they were big suitcases. You know what I mean?
For the kit.
Yeah. When we used to call them coffins.
Okay. All right. Yes, they do look like a coffin.
When you play it badly, you put the person in the coffin and you lock it.
All right.
Okay? No. So we had these big suitcases, and made by, remember Globright, I think it was. So they used to make suitcases. So anyway, there were these big things, and I put this warthog head in Baptiste's coffin. Anyway, he came out the net, and he had a really good net, and he was like saying to me, Callis, how am I playing? And I said, hey, Beppo, you're playing brilliantly, my boy. You're going to get 100 this weekend. I promise you, just given the chance, you're going to get 100. You sure, Callis? I said, no, Beppo, you're hitting the ball beautifully, And he's talking and he's keen. I said, Beppo, you need to bowl. So he takes his pads off, and as he opens this suitcase up, there's this massive warthog with his big two bloody sticking out like this. Well, this poor guy took off screaming around St. George's Park. Okay, we had to calm him down. He ran right around the whole field. He was just screaming, and then there was this poor St. George's. St. George's used the St. George's School actually used the backfield there for some of their sporting activities. And all I can remember is all these young kids watching this fast bowler of ours running around the net screaming because he got so petrified.
Oh, that'll teach you playing pranks, indeed. No. There's Arthur Moore talking about Rod McCurdy.
Yeah.
On the other side, he never saw the ball. Rod McCurdy, that's the other quick bowler. I remember Rod McCurdy. He was
right. Yeah, Rod still lives in South Africa, and Rod lives. He's now living up in near the Kruger Park. Up there.
Okay.
He loves the wildlife, and his daughter Taylor is very involved in photography. Actually, in the wildlife, she trained at Kruger Park just down the road here with Mark Rashmere. And she's gone up and done her thing there, and she's done a really good job. Yeah. And then Arthur played for PECC for a number of years before moving down to down to Cape Town, and he was in the first World Cup side about 2 years ago to go to Australia. Yeah, so another supporter from the Western Cape.
Absolutely, fantastic. There was been talking about the big one. Was it what 156? Was it 156?
169.
169. In it was a Centurion. Whereabouts was it?
It was a Centurion, yeah.
Yeah. We've got to. I want you to talk through it. It was just beautiful. And so we've got little clips. So we're going to go from your sort of 0 to 50, and then we'll chat a bit, and then we'll go again from 50 to 100, and then we'll chat a bit, and then we'll go the rest of the way after that. Let's have a look at the first one.
Well, Dave Callaghan gets 4 runs with his first shot of this Mandela Trophy series, just clipping away with Simon Doull backward of point for 4.
Yes, well, Dave Callaghan has just come into the South African side. In fact, the average is around about 15 or 16 in one-day international cricket. He's replaced Gary Kirsten.
Doull again. Well, again, this one's wide of the off stump, and he could be out.
And he has been, and that's well taken by Mark Priest down there. And so not a great delivery, and one would say a poor shot, perhaps an unlucky shot there for Andrew Hudson.
That's a lovely shot through the offside. Cover drive, 4 runs.
Cape Town wasn't a great track, but all the others that I've seen should be producing 260 runs in one-day cricket.
Well, this one's swung away, and that's gone for 6. Just dropping it short that time, Simon Doull, and Dave Callaghan very quickly into position.
Well, if you're given the opportunity as a middle-order player to go up and open the batting in the one-day international, you're really given free license.
Well, this time he's been clipped away for 4 runs, just backward of square. Well, this time there's more runs for Hansie Cronje as Simon Doull gives chase. In fact, he gives up in the end, and that's 4 more. It's Martin Crowe at short cover and Stephen Fleming at a short mid-wicket. Well, he's put it over that fielder at short mid-wicket and has pulled it away for 4. Just a bit wide of him. And he's repeated the shot, and he said this one better. That's through mid-wicket for 4 runs.
Well, Chris Harris really has to give the ball just a little bit more ear than this.
And Dave Callaghan continues his very good batting form out there. And Chris Harris over pitching outside the off stump. A very nice cover drive. And that's poor bowling from Chris Harris. Just dropping too short down the leg side, and Dave Callaghan now reaches his 50. That's his first 50 in one-day international cricket, and well played too. A standing ovation, as one would expect.
Standing ovation, excellent. That 50, I mean, and the names there. I mean, that's you know, the fact that you played with these guys as well is incredible. You know, you're part of that team. Andrew Hudson, incredible batsman, and Hansie as well. Was Hansie captaining at that stage as well?
Yeah, Hansie taken over from Kepler at that stage. He had taken over from Kepler. So I'd been in the side for a couple of years, in and out, if you want to call it that. As you heard the commentator said earlier, you know, batting at number 6, getting very little opportunities at batting at number 6. And in those days, the game wasn't as quick as it is now. So the moment how you built up your game, you build a solid foundation up front, and then you sort of have the last few overs to sort of hit out, you know, and get a score. Yeah. Whereas the modern game now is you basically just keep up the momentum throughout the innings, you know, and the run rate 6 or 7, you know, just accumulates. There's a different strategy completely. So I'd been in and out and batting at number 6, getting very little opportunity. So Gary was going through a bad patch at that stage, and Hansie Cronje came to me the night before and just said to me, just like out of the blue, you know, how would you feel about opening tomorrow? Yeah. So I thought, well, at this stage, you know, I'm going nowhere. You know, there's no, you know, I'm batting at 6, bowling a few balls. I was a very similar bowler to Hansie, so him and I used to share the fifth bowling. The fifth bowler, he used to bowl 5, and I used to bowl 5 or 6 and 4, depending who was bowling better. And then batting wise, I was batting at 6 and I wasn't getting much opportunity. So I said, yeah, no, look here, give it to me. I'd love the opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's why when I got my 50, it was great when Hansi was there, because he was the guy that gave me that opportunity. You know what I mean? He was the guy that backed me. Yeah. Him and Bob Wilmer backed me to the hilt. You know what I mean? They just said, here's your opportunity. Go out and enjoy yourself. And that.
Wow.
So that was so special to have when I got my 50. And you'll see later on in as the innings developed, you'll see how pleased Hansi was when I got to, I think it was my 100 or 150. Yeah. So it's just
amazing. And the confidence builds.
Exactly. You know, and I mean, they were, Chris Harris was he bowled particularly badly on that day, but he was a very clever bowler on a wicket that sort of held up, if you want to call it that. It was a bit slower wickets where it held up, like Australia and that type of thing. And that Centurion Park wicket just wasn't his wicket to bowl on. It was just too fast and too quick, and the ball came on. Yeah. So he couldn't find himself a line and length. So, and we were good mates from our days. He played for Rochdale and I played for Rochdale in the Lancashire leagues. So we knew each other from then. So, you know, it was nice to get hold of him as well, you know, just to get one on over him, you know.
I mean, all the guys, that's the thing, you all know each other, you know, it's like as well. So you're hanging out sort of outside the cricket game, but when it's in there, then it's competition.
Yeah, and you must remember from my side, I had, before international cricket, I'd already played about 3 or 4 years overseas in the Lancashire League. So, and I was playing against the Ezra Mosleys and the Carl Hoopers and the Gus Logies and Phil Simmonses and the Darren Murray, who played for New Zealand, Chris Harris, Murphy Sewer, all these guys, Simon Dool. I'd already made friends with these guys playing in the leagues before that. So when these international sides came out, many of them I recall being in New Zealand the once, and a night before the test match, day before the test match, Nathan Astle, Darren Murray and Stephen Fleming phoned me up and said, listen, what about a game of golf before the, you know? So I said, yeah, sure, let's go. And we all practiced in the morning, and then from like 1 o'clock until team talk at 6, they came and picked me up at my hotel, and we went and had a game of golf together. And they dropped me off, and I remember as I walked through, John G. Rhodes said to me, gee, Callis, how do you know all these oaks? You know, where did they come from? You know? So I said, no, John G., I've been playing. I mean, you've been playing international cricket. I've been playing Lancashire League cricket, and a lot of these guys we mix with on a weekly basis when we're out there. That's how we just made friends, and it was so nice to be able to play against them. You know, eventually.
Yeah. You mentioned Ezra Mosley. I think he passed away quite recently as well. Also, a car accident.
Yeah, he was in a motor Sam, he was in a motorcycle accident. Yeah, bicycle. Cycling. Yeah, not a motorcycle. Cycle race.
Hectic. All right, so we're going to take you now to for the next section. Let's have a look and see what Gary's got. Here we go.
4 more.
Well, I don't know where this consistency is. I mean, these fellas are professionals out there. It's their job. I'm sure you can have an off day, but you can't expect 4 or 5 bowlers to have off days. And Chris Harris just not up to it today, but beautiful stroke play, as the Bank of New Zealand replay shows, and it's gone classically through the offside, through the covers. Really dissecting the 2 men there.
Well, that's a great drive there from Dave Callaghan. That's 4 runs through mid-off.
We'll see the replay here, courtesy of Bank of New Zealand. Over pitched. Must hit the deck a wee bit more than that. And of course he's well into position. Flows the bat through the ball, hits it straight down to mid-off. And Giggle coming around from mid-on really had no chance to stop that.
And this time he could be out. Brian Young takes a fine running catch.
And that's the end of Hansi Cronje.
So the second South African wicket has fallen, that of Hansi Cronje. He's out, caught Young, bowled Thompson for 68, and in the 30th over, South Africa 159 for 2.
And that's a very, very good shot from Dave Callaghan. Daryl Cullinan showing the very good player he is, and stroking the ball wide of third man, but hit it well enough off the middle. Very important time for Dave Callaghan, who's 98 not out at this stage, as he plays a predetermined shot, and that could be his 100. He's scampering through for one. He's turning, and he's got his century, and the crowd has risen as one, and we can see the elation from the South African team and Dave Callaghan, and what a milestone that is for him.
That's the one. Fantastic, huh? You did get that feeling again.
As you can see there, Hansi was like, pumping the sky.
He was. Amazing. But just the feel of the crowd, and cricket. I know it's these days it's taken a bit of a knock, and with COVID and everything as well, obviously too. But that at that time, I think it was just so cool. It's that everybody followed the team, and I just hope it's going to get there again.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too, and I'm really hoping with the setup that they've announced recently that we'll go back to sort of provincial sides like Eastern Province versus Western Province versus Gauteng versus Natal and that type of thing. We might get that little bit of gees back, or that that bit of spirit back at the grounds, because for me, once the Warriors was formed, it was just a bunch of professionals. You know what I mean? That's all it was, if you didn't have a left-arm spinner, then you bought one from Joburg to come into play. You didn't build any of your homegrown cricketers and start working on a side it's a local, a local team. So I think with the new setup, I'm really hoping some of that comes back. I mean, I try and explain to my son, Sean, I say to him, during a 3-day game or a 4-day game, it's in George's, you had to get there an hour before the game because there was a queue standing outside the ground to get in.
Yeah, it was.
now to go and watch a 3-day game or a 4-day game, they don't even have gate takings. They don't even have security there because they can't. There's not enough people to secure. So it's just it's really a shame. And some of the nice 1-day games you get a few people down, but we need to get back that old And it all came back. I mean, some of the varsity students, a whole lot of the guys were at varsity. So Flamicha, Philip Am, Mark Rashmere, they were all at university at that stage. And these students used to pack the ground on the side. They bring their scottles and sit on the side and abuse them. And then you had Castle Corner that was full of people. And on a Friday night or a Wednesday evening, there was anything between 12 and 16,000 people in that ground, to watch a Benson Hedges night game,
Yeah,
so
and the scottles. I love that.
Do you remember the scottle?
Yeah, I do.
You just burn up. If I got close to you next door, you just burn him with some oil, and then he moves away. Give you some space.
You put some oil on the scottle. No, it was amazing. It used to be such a vibe. I mean, there was so much smoke on the field as well. It must have been hectic. Trying to bat there, out with batting for 2 hours, and you're hungry, and you got flipping braai going on you.
It reminds me of a story with a guy, Skuman Botha, who was playing, and somebody on the side of the ground offered him a chop. So he turned around and he grabbed the chop, and he was busy eating when the captain asked him to come and bowl. So he forgot that he had a chop in his hand, and he ran to the wicket. Okay. And then realized he had this chop in his hand. He didn't know what to do with it, so he put it in his pants, into his wife. Okay. Anyway, he ran up and bowled the first delivery, and then let out the screech because the chop had pricked him where it shouldn't have pricked him in the groin area.
Oh, my soul!
As he delivered the ball, he went up, and everybody couldn't believe it because this ball had been hit in the middle of the bat. So why is he screaming? So he put his hands into his pocket and took out the chop, and he said to the umpire, "Mr. Ump, will you keep this chop until the end of the over?"
I'm hungry. Oh, that's funny. Oh, my word. No, totally.
But I mean, those games had wonderful spirit. It was unbelievable around the ground in those days.
Tell me, there's a story Derek Alberts referred to it here. He said, "What about that? I could brought you the 2-liter Coke or something on the field."
Well, that's going to be the next one because that's going to come after the.
Okay. Let's have a look.
Video.
Let's have a look at the next video. Let's have a look and see what Gary's got here.
Well, that will go for 6. In fact, that's gone 10 rows back. That's a huge hit from Dave Callaghan.
Oh.
Well, this is out. Mistimed by Darryl Cullinan. There he goes, Darryl Cullinan. Caught Thompson, bowled Sewer for 38. And in the 43rd over, South Africa 239 for 3. And of course, this is the highest score by any South African in limited overs internationals, and this one's gone for 6. Well, he's just ripping up the record books, Dave Callaghan. The previous highest score by a South African in one-day international cricket was 112. You'll see on the Bank of New Zealand replay, just leaned back into the shot and wafted it over long on for 6 runs. Well, I don't think Dave Callaghan is really going to have the time to threaten the highest ever one-day international innings. Well, this time he's out again. That's 2 wickets in the over from Murphy Sewer. You can see this one wide outside the off stump. Rhodes chased it. And again, that's just swatted away backward of square. 4 more runs to Dave Callaghan. As Murphy Sewer comes in again. And again, there's that swing across the line from Dave Callaghan. There's 4 more runs.
And so that now is the highest ever score by South Africa in a one-day international. They've beaten their previous best of 288 for 2 against India. It was in Delhi in 1991-92, and that was their 3rd ever one-day international when they got their highest score then. And so they've gone one better today. 10 overs for 40 under the circumstances, 4 runs and over. Very good bowling indeed. So Chris Pringle's done himself proud. For Dave Callaghan, 149, and now 150. Well played.
That's a very, very well played innings. A standing ovation. 1 or 2 people running on. Dave Callaghan's very happy with himself today. Salutes the crowd.
Oh, they didn't show it.
No, I didn't show it. No. It's running on.
But anyway, what happened was,
yeah,
as you heard the commentator say, they're coming running on. Somebody ran, one of the spectators, they were allowed to run on the field. They had this 2 litre of Coke, okay?
Yeah.
And I was dying. I mean, at that stage, a cold Coke is really nice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, if it's in Leeds is better, but you know, we will understand if you had to have a Coke.
Well, they didn't have Fitz and Leeds then. Okay,
Yes.
so, okay. Sorry, Gary.
That's one.
And I remember taking this bottle, right? I won't mention the name again.
Yes.
And I started swigging, and I got like to the 3rd or 4th swig, and I realized that it was just, I think there was more brandy than Coke in there. Okay?
Oh, my soul.
It
Bikkie
was
Brandewyn.
Yeah, it was a proper Brandewyn and Coke. So.
Oh, my soul. But I mean, they're Darryl Cullinan as well, also a great player.
Who was that, sorry?
Darryl Cullinan?
Darryl, yeah. Darryl was, most of us, a lot of people got us mixed up throughout our career.
Yes, Cullinan and Callaghan.
Yeah, and also he went to school in Queenstown, and I was born in Queenstown. His initials are DJC, and my initials were DJC. Okay?
Of course.
So and we both were sponsored by Hunts County Cricket Bats, the one that you saw there. So a lot of people got us mixed up. I mean, even so, when we went to Australia, we were standing at customs, and Darryl and I were quite close mates, and we were often roommates on tour because we played school and all that type of thing, rugby against each other, and we just had so many things in common. And I was standing in the queue, and I gave my passport to the Australian guy, customs, and Darryl was standing behind me, and this customs guy looked at my passport like this, and he looked up at me again, and he looked down again, and he looked up at me, and he looked at me for a while, and then he said, "Hey, mate, have you learned how to face Shane Warne yet?" And I said, no, you don't understand. It's not me. It's Darryl. Okay, it's behind me that you're supposed to be talking to. And I don't want to explain to you what Darryl said, but he turned around. He basically told the customs oak to off, and he went and stood in another queue.
He wasn't going to have any of that.
No, he's been abused by so many Australians already. He just went and stood in another queue and went through there.
My word. Well, I wonder how many people go to Darryl Cullinan and say, "Hey, aren't you Alec Riddle?" Oh, classic. Well, I think he got one more. I think he's got one more left. Let's have a look and see what just the tail end of that to the not out.
Toss, angled away, and Mark Priest does stop it. It doesn't. In fact, it's just rolled over the boundary, so that's 4. And that's going to go for 4 runs as it lands about 6 inches inside the boundary. Simon Dool absolutely on a hiding to nothing. There's very little he can do except try and get them right up there in the block hole. And of course, Callaghan can make those into full tosses. So that really is a linked ball. And a full swing there, a full arc. The Bank of New Zealand replay will show that's just gone inside. See the bit of a divot there. And the man at long on is fairly wide. That's Mark Priest. Look at that, the last 50 and 35 balls. And really those 50s coming very quickly. And so he's got it up in the block hole, except this time it's a full toss. So what he tried to do was right. But you can't stop this man.
This is a magnificent innings. No matter what he touches today is going to turn into boundaries towards the end of the innings. 4 off, 2 balls ago. That one a little bit fuller, full toss. 6. Mark Priest had a 4 hit on one side of him, now 6 hit on the other side.
Yeah, sometimes you want to actually bowl a low full toss or a Yorker, try and get it up there, but that was perhaps just a little bit too high. And again, the Bank of New Zealand replay will show that he's unbelievable. Look at that. That's cheeky again as he sweeps it just behind square. He's going to go for 2, and it could be tight if the throw's better. Poor return from Brian Young.
As Simon Dool runs into the bowl the last ball of the innings.
And he'll only get a single, so that'll make it 314 for 7. Callaghan will move to 169. And undoubtedly a great standing ovation.
Very happy man leaving Centurion Park. 169 not out in a one-day international. Magnificent performance and some very, very fine batting. In that, he's hit 19 4s, 4 6s, and Dave Callaghan certainly the man of the moment.
Man, that is so cool. Some of those shots are so well timed, man. Just like beautiful.
You know, you don't. I tell you now, through your career, you probably have. I mean, depending how it is, you probably remember 5 or 6 times where you're just invincible. You know, the ball just comes out the middle. You just don't feel like you can ever do anything wrong. And that was one of those days. You know, once I got. I mean, I was really nervous. I've never been so nervous in my life. I mean, to be opening the batting, I sort of really stuck my neck out against an international attack. And then suddenly, you know, you get to a 50 and you think, oh, well, hang on, I'm actually good enough to be here, you know. And then you sort of get to 100 and you think, hey, must I keep going? Or, you know, you weren't quite sure. And I thought, no, well, let's see how far I can go, you know. And then you carry on going, batting and batting. And then I thought to myself, jeepers, you know, I must just play normally here because I don't have to try anything stupid and I'm going to get a high score, you know. And it just developed like that. And I mean, in those days, 169 was by far the highest score in one-day cricket, especially in South Africa.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I think it was, if I recall, I might be wrong by 1 or 2, but I think it was the 4th highest score in international cricket ever. Okay. Yeah. And there was 2 guys in front of me. I think it's Glenn Turner and Vivian Richards, who both scored. Yeah, they both scored massive hundreds. In England. In those days, this one-day cricket was played in a Gillette Cup over 60 overs. And I think the other one was Ravi Sastry, who had scored a 170 odd or 180 odd and I think, if I remember correctly, 4th in the world at that stage. Well, the game has developed so much that if you go onto the stats now, I think I'm out of the top 50. So that's how it's changed over the last 25 years. It's amazing. Yeah. So, you know, it just develops.
Okay, so a couple of general questions. So we'll go in here. Where were you when SA scored 438? What were you doing?
I was actually playing cricket down in Cape Town. As I said to you, I was playing a bit of cricket, and I batted in the morning, and I got some runs, and I didn't see any of the Australian innings at all. Okay. And I walked in for lunch and somebody said to me, geez, Chick, Australia got 432 or whatever, 438, I think it was. I said, we got no chance. anyway, we went out to bowl that afternoon, and we fortunately bowled opposition out for next to nothing. And we came back into the clubhouse, and I turned my back on the TV and having a beer with the opposition, and we were just chit-chatting away. And I kept on seeing the guy I was having a beer with. He kept, and I think actually my family was there as well. And they all kept on looking up at the TV, and Sharon kept on saying to me, "Listen, it's getting quite close." And I like, we're going to toss it away somewhere along the line. There's no way you can keep going on to 438, and eventually I had to I turned around and watched the last 50-odd runs, and it was an amazing, amazing innings. So I think one of the funnier parts of one of these stories was when Gary Kirsten got 188 in a World Cup. I was doing some live commentary for Radio Algoa in those days.
Okay, yes.
And I was in studio, and Gary was getting close to my score. And I remember, I don't know who was it. It could have been your friend Gordon Graham that you had on here the last time. I can't remember who it was.
Possibly, yes.
And he asked, and he went past my score, and he said to me, "How do you feel?" And I went, "How do you want me to answer that?"
No, you should never have done it. It's unfair.
No, you know what I mean? How do I feel? But I mean, we all know records are there to be broken, but you don't want your record to be broken. You know what I mean?
No, of course, no. You don't want your own record. Oh no, that comeback game into EP, Benson Hedges game at St George's was a magnificent experience, along with the Proteas. 160 odd.
I think a lot of people get that. Was my first international. My first actual comeback was a game that I will never forget. After a year of I had been diagnosed with cancer, and then having 6 months of treatment. And from the day that I had started my treatment, there was one goal that I set myself, that I wanted to play at least one game of cricket before the end of the season. And because I knew that my chemo was going to take 5 months or 4 or 5 months. So I did everything that I could in those 4 or 5 months to try and get myself back on the field. And when I came back, all the World Cup players were away. So I was available, and I got back into the team. If I think back at now, it was crazy. I was never really ready, but the whole emotional side of it, made me prepare myself, and I walked out to bat, and the whole of St George's stood up to clap, and they clapped all the way from when I walked out onto the field right until I took my guard. And I remember turning around and looking at the umpire, and Clive Eckstein. We were playing against Transvaal, and Clive Eckstein was the bowler. And I couldn't see them. You know what I mean? Everything was just a blur.
I was there.
Yeah, I had to make my mark, and then I had to act if I'm a big man and I'm not crying. Like stand around, look around all over, look around. The field, sort of take a couple of deep breaths before I could face that ball. But that for me was by far one of the most emotional parts of my career. Coming back and playing in front of the crowd that I loved playing in front of. I mean, it was just
of course, St George's.
Crazy St George's bunch.
Yeah, man, I've got some questions here from Gary clearly here. When last did we have a test spinner as good as Maharaj?
I'm glad you asked that, because that's exactly what I was thinking last night watching the Proteas, and I really look at him and I think, wow, suddenly now we've got a real proper spinner in the side. He bowled really well. He's actually been bowling quite well, and I think now he's obviously got a captain that backs him, and he's one of the senior players in the side. So he's going to really, I think he's going to really blossom and do a lot better in the future. So it was a great win against the West Indies last night.
Lovely.
I mean, I know that the West Indies are not the strongest side, but we seventh, they sixth, and we need to build from somewhere. And if you look at all the off the field antics that's been going on in South African cricket, it takes a big effort by the boys to concentrate on at their task and produce the results that they have done. So let's let's encourage them and let's see what we, because there's some,
for sure.
There's a few shortfalls there in the side, and I would really like to. I don't know where they're going to get the match practice to improve before the next series, but they've all got talent. That's why they're there. So we need to back them.
Yeah, I just see Mark Stemmett saying there, just the more he realizes. Dave, I completely agree. The most humble guy and always the easiest guy to talk to as well. Wherever you are, always. You've never moored you've never moored anybody, eh?
No, I don't. I haven't. And so I couldn't understand when guys like Brett Schultz and all these guys used to get in fights on tour, and that I used to go, why do you guys get involved with fights? I've been on a rugby tour. I've been on cricket tours for 20 years of my life. I've never been hit in a pub. You must have done something wrong. I mean, Callaghan, we bought this girlfriend a drink. Oh, well, no wonder you got
Exactly. I feel the same. I feel that a lot of my mates, muso mates, they get into all these stores, cuck, and I'm like, I don't know how they do it. It looks like maybe you should go like it's that line that you never cross, maybe.
Exactly. Why? How do you get into a fight? I wouldn't know.
I don't know.
Only time I ever banged someone was in a rugby field, and that was
when
I was playing for Dispatch, because I had a lot of backing then in those days.
That's the thing. Something we haven't touched on. You spoke about Gavin Cowley earlier, and you one of the guys like Gavin Cowley who played EP rugby and cricket. Is that right?
Yeah. There's I think there's 5 of us that have done in Eastern Province anyway that have done played both cricket and rugby. And it's Ethel McKinnon, Jeff Dakin, Gavin Cowley, Bob White, myself, and I have to mention a guy by the name of Harry Burrell, Adi Burrell's father, also played. I think there's 6 of us that have done both. I think. I might be out 1 or 2. John Ferrand maybe as well. So there's not many of us. So
I'm sure.
At one stage when I got back from the army, it was a toss-up between cricket and rugby, to be honest. I mean, I'd really played good rugby for what they call EP junior clubs. I was in the army, and I was playing really good rugby. And Donnie came to me, Gabba, we were we played the curtain raiser of one of the EP games.
Okay.
And we were in the president's suite afterwards, because the president's suite was always great because it was free drinks after the game, So before you went down to Lily's or to Cadillac Jack's or whatever, those sort of places in those days, you stock up, at the president's suite, before you. So you didn't have to pay too much when you went out, because it wasn't.
Okay.
And so we have a couple of beers and a couple of brandy cokes, and we're standing there chatting. And Donnie came to me and he said, hey, Soti, waar speel jy volgende jaar?
Oh, Soutpil.
Soutpil, waar speel jy volgende jaar? So I said, no, Donnie, I'm going to probably go and play for PCC, I mean, in those days, Crusaders.
Crusaders, okay. So,
it was, most grade boys that continued playing rugby in those days went on and played for Crusaders, at St. George's. And I said, And my dad's best mate, Derek Neuvert was the chairman there, and my dad and Derek used to braai often together, and my father was a top rugby ref in those days. I mean, he was did 75 first class games in his career as well.
Wow.
And so there was sort of like this connection, and and I said, I don't know, I'm going to go to Crusaders, and Donnie said, Soti, as jy daar speel, ek sal jou moer. So
that was the time that United did get moored.
So I said, well, Donnie, where do you think I'm going to play? He says, kom saam speel. Kom saam speel. So the following year, I ended up going to Dispatch, and it was probably one of the nicest years of my sporting career. I had both. That year I played rugby and cricket for EP, so it was just we didn't. Pre-seasons weren't 3-4 months long, I played a Nissan Shield semi-final the one Saturday, and the following Saturday I was wearing the EP rugby jersey playing against Border in East London, so in a friendly, just went from one season to the next, and rugby was high on the agenda, because when I went away from to the army, and when I came back from the army, a couple of other guys had got back into the EP side. Mark Rashmere had been got into the side, Philip M, Plum Micho. So it was hard for me to get into EP cricket side again, because I'd already played and then gone to the army and then come back. Okay. And suddenly I was like doing really well on the rugby field. And I actually got asked to go and play rugby in Italy.
Gee whiz. Tito Lupini.
Yeah, with old, what's his name, Nelly Smith, who was the rugby coach. He asked myself, Mario Swart and Stein Swart to go with him to Italy to play rugby. And then Kepler arrived and said, no. I said, you can't do that to me. I need you as an all-rounder. I ended up staying. And he said to me, and I said to him, Kepler, you don't understand. I get 100 Rand a day playing professional cricket, and I get 400 Rand in a brown paper packet playing rugby. In an amateur game, in a so-called, what they call amateur game of cricket.
Yes, of course.
It doesn't make sense, and I still got taxed on the 100 Rand. That doesn't make sense.
Now, Marijn says you must tell us your famous Afrikaans sentence that was told to you by Donnie.
Yeah, I won't
is it not lekker?
Gino, I've enjoyed your show. I'd like to be invited back again.
So you play centre with Donnie Gerber. I mean, he's probably the top centre in the world ever. You know?
His favorite saying to me, as jy met my vanaand bly, ek sal jou fucking Here maak.
Mooi man. That's how. Oh, lekker. We've got to have him on sometime. I've got to get hold of Donnie. We've got to have Donnie on. I think we must. Good absolute luck. Legend. He doesn't like the limelight.
No, look, he's brilliant. He's really good.
Marijn, you'll have to organise Donnie, please. We want Donnie on the show sometime soon, for sure. But so, I mean, like rugby and then cricket. So you made that decision with Kepler. You said, so Kepler was pretty instrumental in all that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's, as I said to you, I was about to go on this journey of rugby, and Kepler was involved in at that stage as well. EP Rugby got him involved as a mental coach as well, because he was a tough guy, and the rugby guys enjoyed him, and he used to come to rugby practice. But I think he could see the Soti running amongst all these oaks, like he decided, you know what, I actually need this oak as an all-rounder. He's going to get moved, you know what I mean? So,
yes. Imagine the injuries. I just can't even start to think about it.
When he comes to the cricket field, he's going to be hot, a knee brace and all this type of thing. And he was the guy. I mean, so I went to Kepler and I said, look, this is what's happening. And Kepler said, well, look, if I can arrange a overseas contract for you, will you rather do that the next season? And I said, well, do that. If you can do that for me, great. And at that, right at that stage, Clive, Richard Hadley and Clive Rice had retired from Nottinghamshire. So Kepler phoned Clive and said, listen here, and I'd just taken Clive apart here at St George's about 2 weeks before that in a Benton Hedges game yard, and Clive and I had a good friendship going, and he said, no, by all means, I'll organize. If Dave wants to go, I will organise him a contract. And he phoned a guy by the name of Ken Tainter, who was head of cricket affairs at Nottinghamshire, and I arrived there, and you won't believe it, Richard Hadley had done exactly the same with a guy by the name of Chris Cairns, as we all know, the New Zealander. And the main professional in the team was Franklin Stevenson. So there was three of us there. There was Franklin, Chris Cairns and myself, and we all shared a house together in a place called Melton Mowbray, just outside Nottinghamshire, or just down the road from the ground. And that was my real introduction to playing cricket all year round. And unfortunately, I I did very well in that season. I think I scored about 700 or 800s for Nottinghamshire seconds that year. But I wasn't quite the player they were looking for. You know, they were looking for a fast bowler rather than a fast bowler that can bat, not a batter that can bowl. And at the end of that season, I got released. They desperately tried to make me qualify for England. But I don't have any British passports or any of that type of stuff, you know, behind my name. So I ended up playing in the Lancashire leagues for you know, 10 years or so. So a place called Rochdale, and I'm sure one or two of the guys from Rochdale are watching, and then another club called St Anne's, right up north as well. Yeah. So it was a long career overseas.
Yeah. Do you wish that you could have played T20?
Ah, no, look at that would have been my game, mate. Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, look at just. It came just a few years just after my my retirement, you know. It would have been really good. I mean, you know, you saw in that knock of mine there they called it the paddle in the old days. You know what I mean? The commentators called it the paddle. You know what I mean? Now they got all funny names for it. The dill scoop and the reverse. Mine was a paddle,
reverse sweep. Yeah. Okay. That was a paddle.
You know, it was. It would have been a game that would have suited me definitely. You know, and I could, you know, my fielding, my bowling, my batting. But you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Test cricket. I mean, you know, the guys want the 5 day, the purists, you know. But do you think it's this the IPL is killing that Test cricket thing?
I think it is. It is to a certain extent. I do also think that the T20s is bringing a new generation into the game as well, introducing them to the game.
The ADD bunch.
Exactly, but when you do get a good test game of cricket, there's a lot of people that watch, you know. And if you look how many people in the UK watch, in Australia, and I always say to people, don't measure the number of people that are sitting in the ground. I mean, let's face it, there's not many people that can go and sit for 5 days and watch every single ball, you know. So. I'd love to know how audience-wise, like what we're doing now, streaming and for TV, how many people are still interested in the game. I think there's still a lot of people interested in the game. Yeah. And there's nothing that beats a good test match. Yeah.
No, I love it as well. But also we've grown up with it. It's like it's kind of like Marmite, isn't it? It's like, you know, if you don't grow up with Marmite, you think, what the hell are you doing? Like,
what are you talking about?
Kind of, like apparently if you grew up with Marmite, like you tasted it when you were a child, then you always like Marmite. But then you try and give it to an adult that's never seen Marmite before or had it. Then they're like, "What, are you out of your mind? This stuff is like ridiculous. It's like, no ways I'm going to have this."
Yeah, you know the beauty about Test cricket is that you can select times that you want to go and watch. You know, so. Although you're keeping an eye on everything, you know that after lunch is a key session before, you know that just before tea time. Often I end up going to watch T20 games or 50-over games, and you'd be sitting in the ground and they turn around and you talk to your mate, and the next minute
it's gone.
And you think, oh, because I missed that. You know, where's the TV? You have a look around, you know. So it's quite a difficult game to watch. T20. I remember the first when they had that. What is it? The IPL in South Africa. And I remember going to a couple of games, and they asked us to move from a couple of us ex-players, to move to one or two of the boxes just to meet some of the Indians that were over here and that. And we walk in and we talk to a couple of people, and we move, and we get to the third box or fourth box or suite, if you want to call it that. And next minute, everyone would be clapping and picking up their cushions and their jackets and be walking out. And we hadn't watched any game. We hadn't even watched cricket. It's too quick for me. I'm not used to that. So.
It is. Oh, Wendy's saying, where is Kepler now? She's saying, where's Kepler? He used to come to our centre stage shows. Where's Kepler?
Kepler loved music. Okay, that's the one thing I could say about him.
He was on all my comedy shows too. He loved
he loved his music. Unfortunately, he's moved back to Australia, living in. I think he's back in Brisbane.
Okay.
And yeah, so I don't know
Okay.
when we'll see him again. His son's playing cricket for Worcester in England. He's made quite a good career for himself. And his daughter's married and I've got kids in Australia. So, yeah, there's no real interest for him to come back again.
Barry's saying, have you ever spent time in the Chuki?
No, that's
Not
another
yet.
Story.
Have you got one? Because we've had a couple of guests. It wouldn't be out of the ordinary. In fact, it would probably be the norm for my guests to have been in the Chuki at least once.
This is a family show, right? This is a family
No, it's
show.
fine. It's fine. There's no rules really.
Thanks, Barry, for dropping me there.
Yeah, we go. No, we've had a couple. Who was the last one? Was Alec Riddle also in the Chuki? I can't remember. There were a few guys that have been in the Chuki in my shows.
Well, a lot of us thought we were in Chuki when we were in the army, and we bunked out, and we ended up doing DB and things like that.
Hell's bells. Oh, my soul. There we go. Paul Morrick. How's it, Paul Morrick? Lovely. He's also ex-VP, I think, if that's the right Paul Morrick. And test is best, says Sue Rhodes. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. That is my daughter. That's my daughter, Lee.
What is she saying? Nice dough.
Duva. She calls me Duva.
Duva.
Yeah, no, because I'm a real coffee snob, okay? I love my coffee.
Duva Egbert.
Yeah, exactly. And she keeps making me, and I keep turning it away. So she now calls me Duva. So.
I'll organize you some of my one that you got to try, and you can try it out.
Thanks,
my
Lee.
special coffee. Oh, man. Okay, so I think we're just a couple of questions here. We're going to go through. I want to keep it too long here. So Hansie and Kepler, different captains. Yeah. Pollock as well was in there too, in the mix.
I think the timing was right. I don't know if Kepler will agree with me, but I think, if I took what Kepler did with the Eastern Province side and what he did with the South African side when we came back in international cricket, it was so important for us to have somebody like him who had experience of playing in the World Series and playing Test cricket international. I mean, our EP training methods changed dramatically. The way we thought about the game changed dramatically. And that's why we became so successful. So it was just for him to take over the South African side at that stage and sort of give away some of his knowledge and some of his knowledge, and for us just to learn from him, was so important in those early days. And then, obviously, he was a hard man, and a lot of those guys like the Macmillans and the Fanie de Villiers and the Pat Simcoxes and Hudsons and the Donalds, and you just name all of them. They all became established Test cricketers over that sort of 4 or 5 year period. So, and I'm going to say it like it is, and I think it's, I've seen Kepler make one or two things like, he's too hard, and he was a tough guy. I mean, let's face it, anybody that gets hit by Sean Pollock, breaks his hand, all right, 3 weeks later, has pins put into his hand, 3 weeks later, has the pins taken out, the morning before a night game, against Sean Pollock again, to prove that he's going to bat, and goes and bats. Anybody that can do that is a hard man. You know what I mean? And I remember walking down to the middle of the wicket and looking at his hand, and it was just dripping with blood. The stitches had come loose from the impact of the. And I looked at him, I said to him, Kepler, your hand's bleeding. Oh, really? That's not important at this stage, sort of like, he was a tough guy. So to go through with him and bring us to that stage, we needed a guy a little bit lighthearted, and Kepler got injured in that very famous game in Australia, and I think it was 94, where we bowled out Australia for less than 119, and he got injured in that game, and he came back after that. And the tour was at a tipping point where the guys, we didn't have a day off. We went to England for 6 weeks and then straight to Australia. And we were in Australia for 2 months. So we were away for 3.5 months, and we didn't have one day off just to sort of go and play golf. And I mean, the one day we got invited to play in a golf game, and Kepler sat at the team talk, and he said, well, if you guys all think you're good enough to go and play golf, then go and play golf. But I'm going to the nets. Who's coming with me?
What a bastard!
So the only guy that went to play golf was Alan Donald, because he knew he couldn't get dropped.
Yes, if you were that confident.
On the bus, and off we went to the bus, and we all went and had a game. We all went practicing. So Kepler went home, and I think the pressure of that tour, being in Australia, was so big. It was our first full tour of Australia, and I think Hansi just read it correctly. He just said, "Okay, guys, this is where we are in this tour. We're in the one-day series. We need to beat Australia and New Zealand still in one weekend. We've got a test match to win, and we can win it, come away with a series, or we just can fall apart." And he said, "Look here, have 1 or 2 days off." And we did. We had about 4 or 5 days off. Have 1 or 2 days off and go and enjoy yourselves and get together. And a couple of guys went into the Blue Mountains. A couple of guys went down to walk around the quay in Sydney. And we just, I remember doing some cancer advert on some boats, on some of these big sailing boats over there as well. And we just had 2 days of fun. And when we got back together, the team was so motivated to do well, and that's how this whole Hansi era came into play. So it was just the timing was just right for Hansi to take over.
Yeah. What did Herschel do on his days off? Okay, we won't go there.
Fortunately, I didn't play. A lot of people say to me, "Were you involved with all of this?" I said, "No, you don't understand." I was too worried about trying to get a spot in the team, worried about Netherlands trying to change a game, change the.
No. I was talking about this stuff for his days off. I was wondering.
No, that's okay. I mean, funny enough, in '95, we suspected the Pakistanis. There was some dissension in the ranks in that series. There was some dissension in their team. And we felt like there's something going on. And from that tour, I think from that final that they played against us in the Mandela Cup final at the Wanderers, which when we beat them, they went from there straight to straight to Zimbabwe to play Zimbabwe, and there was a fallout with a couple of players, and some of the players left the squad and went home. And we always felt that there was something going on there that nobody knew about. Yeah. So it's sort of this whole match fixing thing and everything
the pressure.
Okay. I don't want to dwell into it, but I still never believed that nobody ever threw a game on purpose or did anything.
No, for sure. Louis Kuhn online there, see? A quick shunk there with Louis Kuhn.
It's very appropriate that he had 4 glasses of red wine, because I'm sure he's on his 5th by now.
All right. There we go. All right. I think it's time now for the getting to know you session. The little quicker questions.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
Okay, what's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done?
Yeah, now you're putting me on the spontaneous thing that I've ever done.
Yeah.
I always look for a practical joke somewhere along the line.
Okay. Well, the coffin one wasn't a bad one, I got to say.
Yeah. What comes naturally is to make something lighthearted. Anything.
Yes. Oh, good. I like that. Okay, the most let's say the most uncomfortable place you've ever slept.
Under a hedge in Port Alfred.
Aish. As you're coming in from the PE side on the right-hand side there, was that the hedge?
On the right-hand side, there's white fibre creep wall.
Yes.
There's a bush there. I slept under that bush.
Exactly. You could have slept at Beavers.
No, what happened was we were at the Langdon Hotel and we were having a few beers, and my teammates left me behind. And I decided to walk home. And I got about a kilometer. I got a kilometer, and they were staying at Kusuka. And I got about a kilometer out of Port Alfred, And there's one thing I have to share. I'm petrified of the dark. So as it got darker and darker, I turned around and I went back and I slept under the bush and waited for it to get light and then started to lift back.
Oh my soul! I think I don't think I would have done that. Dark or no dark. Do you believe in fate?
Believe in what?
Fate, like your life's planned out.
Yes, I do.
You do. So I mean, you don't believe like you can change, you can make that. I suppose there's always a bit of that change involved, but you believe that it's all set out.
I think there's a plan for you, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
As long as you toe the line, Gino.
Yeah.
You need to toe the line as well.
You're talking about your wife now, I suppose, when you're saying that.
I've got the door closed here. Sharon's not listening.
Okay. Well, he says, don't share too much, Rumi. That's what Louis Kuhn says. Not too much overshare. I sense that you've got lots of information that you can't part with. Okay. Who has it easier, men or women?
Now I have to leave this room, so I haven't locked the door. No, I'm going to have to admit we've got it a bit easier. I think the men have got it easier.
I think. Would you describe yourself as politically correct?
Yes.
Yes, good. As a sports guy, you've got to be out there. It's kind of like a DJ. You've got to always toe that line as well. Yeah.
Now you need to know. You need to know where your borders are.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and as a child, you were obviously sort of always did the right thing as well.
Well, I think you
compliant.
I think you should ask my mom and dad, but I would have always thought I was.
Okay. and your kids are just as compliant, no doubt.
They are extremely compliant.
I don't know. I sense a little lie, a little fib over there.
But the difference is they've got Sharon.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. I get that. She'll get that tennis racket out on them.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Okay. When was the last time you changed your opinion or belief about something major? Something that changed your mind about something?
Sure. I think I changed it a few times,
Yeah.
I change it all the time, actually, especially when I watch the Proteas cricket side playing. So.
Right. Okay.
Or the SA, or Manchester United or SA Rugby. No, look, there's certain things I change my mind, but there are things that I normally would. I stick to my guns if I believe in something. Yeah.
Okay. So you're not stubborn.
No, definitely not. No. Not a stubborn guy at all.
What would be the most annoying? Maybe I should ask Louis Kuhn this. What's the most annoying thing about having you as a roommate?
Sure. I mean, I don't want to be. I think the most annoying thing is that my roommates can never go to bed easy, knowing that.
Oh, right.
That there might not be a practical joke played on them the next morning.
Right. We'll ask Louis if there's anything that he can think of as well. Yeah. Oh my word. Okay. Was there ever an event in your life that defied explanation?
You mean required an explanation?
No. Defied explanation. Like it's something that was.
No, not
like,
really.
How the hell did that happen?
I've never thought of anything like that.
Okay. All right. No, it's fine. It's fine. What's the luckiest thing that's ever happened to you then?
Sure. I think I'm lucky in many ways. I think I'm very fortunate. I think I was lucky to get an opportunity to bat and make 169. I mean, that was a lucky opportunity. And
you could have got a duck, you know.
I could have got a duck. Yeah, no, but I mean, I was lucky just to get that opportunity, you know. So
yeah.
And I've been very fortunate to have a lot of things go my way. So I don't think there's one particular thing that I can say that I'm lucky to have, you know.
All right. You're a romantic, and if so, what's the most romantic thing you've ever done?
Can you just imagine what's going on in the room next door?
Oh, come on. Sharon, put in the comments.
Yeah, Gary said to Sharon, "Why don't you sit in this conversation?" Now I'm glad she's not sitting in this conversation. I am to a certain point romantic. Sometimes my wife might not think that. But just to give an example, when we got engaged, we went into the jeweler store on Morris Levine down in Greenacres, and I got the ring. And as I walked out, I got in the car and I turned around. And I said, "You're not going to put that on now."
Oh my word!
I didn't cover myself in glory there, and put it this way: I started from a low base, but I think I've got better since.
Yeah. Oh, good. Let's see. If you were going to go, if I was going to go somewhere, what city should I visit?
Yeah, I think of all the cities that I would go to and I would visit, definitely. What's his name? I was thinking of Adelaide, and Sydney in Australia, definitely.
Adelaide, okay.
Yeah.
So Sydney in Australia.
Two wonderful places. I love those.
Good spots. I've never really thought of Aussie, going there, but that sounds good. What's the craziest dish or food you've ever eaten?
Yeah, we went to play in cricket in Hong Kong in the Sixers, and then we went across to Malaysia, and can't remember. I think we tried. They sell those foods along the road, and I think we've tried frog's legs. I think it was. The fresh love it. Yeah, they were crispy. They were almost like they were like fried. Yeah, they were fried, obviously, but they were very crispy. They're almost like the end bit of a chicken wing.
Tastes like chicken.
But it was a dare between all of us. When you're in a team like that, you're always like, "Okay, guys, come! I dare you all to do this. Come on, let's go try. Who's going to do the turn? Who's going to do the rest?"
Very good. Very good. I see Gary De Bruyne asking if it's in is it golf or is it fishing? Now in retirement.
Well, Gary, Fitch and Leeds, my man.
Yes.
Bit of both. But I leave the fishing up to my son Sean. He's the fisherman, and then I try my hand at a bit of golf. So, I'm waiting for my invites at the links.
The links, Yes, Gary's there.
Come on, we're waiting for our invite.
But no, you're quite a hotshot golfer. I'm like, if I break 100, I'm celebrating you. If I get a century, it's not like getting a century in cricket, apparently.
Yeah, well, you can at least raise your club or raise your bat.
I can. I think I might beat your 169. No.
I like Graham.
Okay, let's see. Your favorite solo artist?
My solo artist?
Yeah.
It has to be Robbie Williams.
Robbie Williams? Are you Robbie Williams?
I love Robbie Williams. Yeah, I love Robbie Williams.
My wife likes Robbie Williams.
Yeah, listen, Robbie Williams. I just love his mannerism. I love his attitude on the stage. Yeah, it's
lovely.
So that's the one part of me, like Paul McEnroe. I love watching him playing tennis, and that sort of thing. I love some of that.
John McEnroe, you mean?
John McEnroe, sorry.
Yes, Paul was his lesser known brother that wasn't so good at tennis.
Sorry, yeah. So I like that. But Robbie Williams, I love Robbie Williams, definitely. And I like U2.
Oh, U2 is your band. I was going to ask about your band. The Edge.
Yeah, U2's my band. I love U2. Bono and the Edge.
Oh, you're an 80s boy then. But actually, Robbie Williams is like 90s, end of 90s to early 2000s, I think. There we go. Gary De Bruyne says your invite's in the post. Graham Smith saying, "Hi, Dave." Graham Smith.
Graham, yeah.
Here's another captain. Did you guys play together?
Sorry?
You guys play together? You
Yeah,
and
but
Graham?
that's the local Graham Smith, eh? I must tell you. That's
That's local Graham Smiths.
yeah. He's
not-
his wife Natasha used to work with us at the cricket shop in at St George's Park.
Oh, hang
Used to
on. Is
work
that
in the
Ian
grass.
Smith's son then?
No.
Oh, not.
No.
There are enough Smiths around, I think.
Yeah.
So now you know Ian Smith, the president of Zimbabwe, and you know Graham Smith here, captain as well. It was a little later than yours. Wayne Girdleston is watching from New Zealand. That must be late. He must be up late. Can't you sleep? Can't you sleep, Wayne?
Thanks for watching, Wayne. Yeah.
Excellent. What's the most amazing physical feat you've ever managed to pull off?
Yeah, look, I'm not a very daring guy. I'm petrified of heights. I'm petrified of. I don't do bungee jumping. I've done none of that type of stuff. I'm not an adventure sort of guy.
Okay.
At all. So I would guess my stint in the army was probably and stuck out in the bush for a couple of days was probably the worst the most daring thing that I had to do. Yeah.
Okay. Guilty pleasure?
Oh, chocolates, eh?
Chocolates.
Sweets, chocolates.
Yes, sir. Where's the longest you've been without sleep?
I love my sleep. So, but I must say that often when we used to be on a cricket tour and we played a Benson Hedges game, and I recall the one in '89, and I think it was referred to earlier by Dave Emsley.
Yes.
We played the game, and then afterwards had a celebration of note. Got to bed at about 5:30. Had to wake up at 6:30. And I mean, I basically didn't sleep. Got onto the plane, flew back to PE, and I was invited to play a golf day in Cathcart. And I drove all the way to Cathcart and played a game of golf, partied that evening, and celebrated again with all the locals in Cathcart. And then I went that evening, I went and stayed with my grandparents on the farm, and they were hoping was to see me, but I got there around about 12 at night. Went to bed, got up at about 11 o'clock, had breakfast with them, and got in the car and drove back to Port Elizabeth. So
my soul. So you had a little breakfast with your grandparents at least. Very irresponsible of you, Dave.
Very irresponsible, yeah.
Honestly. Okay, what's one responsibility that you wish you didn't have?
One responsibility.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you asked me some tough questions.
No,
I think the one responsibility I don't like is and it's not so much now. I've had model children, but that responsibility of trying to discipline your kids. Yes. That's, for me, that was the toughest thing to ever do, because I knew in the background sometimes I was just as naughty, if not naughtier.
Yeah, of course.
And you had to try to tell them what not to do. Meanwhile, you knew, gee, I did that myself.
Classic. No, I like that. And do you regret not doing or starting something when you were younger? Is there anything that you regret not doing?
Yeah, I'm going to get a bit boring now. I'm going to say I regret not completing my studies at varsity.
Oh, right. Sooner.
Yeah, I mean, sport took over, so it's just one of the things that I regret not doing.
Yeah, Philippa wants to know if you take out the rubbish. I don't know if she's referring to me in that very same question.
Gino, I just want to let you know that it's Wednesday tomorrow morning, and I'm taking out the rubbish tomorrow morning, okay?
Well, you're so good, Dave. You're so good. Okay. Well, have you cleaned out the litter box? It looks like you have to clean the cat litter box.
No, man. Amy, yeah.
You're selling your dad down the river here. I see that.
Oh, sure.
What old person thing do you do?
Old thing, yeah.
Old person.
Wear glasses. These drive me insane. I've had to put them on. I was trying not to wear them tonight because, but I was so worried.
You gotta wear it.
When Gary said to me, "You must look for the comments," I thought, "Oh no, that means I'm going to have to wear my glasses."
Yes, exactly. He was check the comments out. They're coming in. What's the most awkward thing that happens to you on a regular basis?
Most awkward thing.
Yeah.
If you ask my son, when I give team talks, okay, I get my words tied up a little bit, when I get excited. And then he sits in the team talk and he looks at me like this and he shakes his head.
Rolls his eyes.
Rolls his eyes. Oh, I've heard that one before.
We know all your tricks, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
You enjoy a bit of comedy. Which, other than me, your favorite comedian?
My favorite comedian?
Yeah, other than me, of course, obviously.
No, look here. You're number one, Gino.
Yes. No, but I mean, other than me, yes.
I tell you, I used to enjoy quite a lot down in Cape Town, and my it's now slipped my mind. Now, Chiefest.
Not Rob van Vuuren in Cape Town.
No, I mean he did that wonderful skit on men and women. That's one. If you remember what.
Not Barry.
Sorry.
Not Barry Hilton.
No, not Barry. I mean, I enjoy listening to Barry as well. But gee, I can't think. I think not many. Cheapers. I can't think. I've seen my Facebook.
So put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. They'll see. Gary will bring it up.
But
No. We'll get the people to put it in the comments. They'll know.
Yeah.
They'll know. We'll see it come up now. Men are from Mars. Was that the one?
That's something like that. And I went to listen to him once down in Cape Town. Yeah, he made me laugh. I tell you,
not Aaron McElroy.
No, not McElroy.
No. He did so. Defending the caveman. That's Tim Plewman.
Defending the caveman. There we go. You got it
Tim
right.
Plewman.
Thank you, Wendy.
Wendy's got it. There we go. Yeah, Mike Profferman's got it there as well.
Yeah.
Excellent.
No, I remember listening to that and laughing. Okay, and Sharon and I were having one hell of a laugh. And the couple in front of us stood up and walked out. They had an argument and stood up and walked out.
They couldn't handle it. Two of these oaks in front of them keep on laughing.
Yeah, we were all laughing, and I think it was too close to the bone. It was like...
Oh, yeah, maybe. Okay, let's do it. We've got some quick questions, rapid fire. Let's have a look now if Gary's got that intro. I don't know if there's an intro to it.
Yeah.
Okay. I see it's called the quick quiz. There we go. What was your first job?
Selling ducting.
Ducting?
Yeah,
okay.
Engineering. Okay. I was involved in the engineering company.
Yes, okay.
After cricket, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
My first real job was the coachman, working at the coachman.
Coachman, nice.
Yeah.
Nice, that. Okay. Yeah. It was in Central.
In Central, yeah. And then
upstairs.
In one of the pubs there, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, what is a habit which you wish you could break?
Licking my lips.
Wiggling your lips?
No, licking my lips.
Oh, licking your lips. Do you lick your lips like South Africa is?
Yeah, like this. Yeah.
PV Bote style. Okay. What is your first celebrity crush?
My first celebrity crush.
Yes.
Was it Everett Lloyd? What's her name?
Chris Everett Lloyd. Lovely. No wonder you went for Sharon Hayward,
exactly right,
in her tennis outfit and everything. She probably had her Chris Everett Lloyd stuff on.
Exactly.
Okay, your kryptonite. Stuff that makes you weak.
Oh, sorry, what is that?
Your kryptonite. What is your kryptonite? Like Superman, like he gets weak if he's around kryptonite.
Sure. No, I don't.
Pass.
Pass, yeah, pass.
Okay, pass. All right. What are the 3 things you can't live without?
Sport,
Yeah.
golf.
Yes.
Okay, which is part of sport. My
Yes.
family. Okay, they put in order.
Okay.
Family, sport, and St. Francis.
St. Francis. Happy place. I'm here and you're not. Is it? You're not there tonight.
I know. Some of us work proper jobs, eh?
You know. Look at me. I'm just having a joy. Yeah. Okay. What is the one talent you wish you had?
One talent I wish I had. I wish I was a better golfer. That's the one talent I wish.
Okay. All right. Your nickname? Callis.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any hobbies or you collect anything?
No, I don't collect anything. I'm not a collector.
A lot of guys.
I do pot around. I love potting around the house at St. Francis, and working around, doing those type of things, and making sure everything works at home as well.
So you haven't got a little collection of something?
No.
You're not a hoarder?
I've got a good collection of autobiographies, but it's not something that I'm absolutely possessed in collecting. Okay. I don't go out collecting more and more. I collect. I've got a whole lot of books that I've collected from people that I've enjoyed playing against or enjoyed watching.
Okay. So it's really a sports thing again, you know. Okay. All right. Your biggest irrational fear or phobia? You said you're scared of the dark.
Petrified of the dark. Eh?
Yeah.
Petrified of the dark.
Oh, my soul. We won't go into why that's there. You know, you can lie down on my couch and we'll talk about that time when you were young.
It's not a long story, Gino, but my grandfather used to ask me to go and close the farm garage doors. It was about 100 meters. And I used to take the 2.2 rifle. I used to take everything over my shoulder just to walk 100 meters to go and close the garage door.
You could have killed somebody.
It was pitch black there on it, so it was absolutely pitch black. But I had all the ammo, everything. I mean, I was about 14, 15. I was loaded with everything to make sure that there was nobody that's going to attack me while I go and close this garage door.
Listen. Amy says your kryptonite's peanut butter.
Yeah, I have to have a spoon of peanut butter before I go to bed. Eh? So.
How is it? You know what they say about peanut butter? They say it makes you yaks.
It makes you, that's for women.
That's what he said. Maybe Sharon should hide the peanut butter away. All right, so there's Peter Barnes saying, Callis, you legend. Yeah, absolutely.
I guess he's also sitting out at St. Francis, eh? Oh, Pete.
Yeah. Must be. Yes, you're right. You're right.
Him and Gary do a lot of fishing together, but they
do.
I question their ability. Eh? So.
What celebrity annoys you the most?
Nadal has to.
Nadal.
The scratcher and the puller and the scratcher and the puller.
It's irritating, eh? It is. And I'm sure that he's not as nice as he's all made out to be as well. He's probably like a real ass.
No, I respect those guys. They're absolutely brilliant. I mean, before he knows, scratch you, pull you, it irritates me.
Okay. How would you rate your karaoke skills?
Oh, terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, I'm the worst. I am the worst singer in the world, you know.
Oh, really?
I mean, I'm so bad that when I sing at church, the person in front of me, before she sits down, looks behind to see who the hell's sitting behind her.
Have you had that a few times, obviously? Okay. Well, what's your favorite restaurant?
My favorite restaurant?
Yes.
Yeah, I've eaten in a lot of restaurants, and I'd be very at the moment.
At the moment,
I would say no. I haven't eaten, and I'm going to be a little bit biased because my daughter's parents are are involved with La Cantina.
Okay.
And
Oh,
we've
nice.
had 1 or 2 little bites there as well. So I could say that's
La
at this
Cantina.
stage. But yeah, I've been to a number of good restaurants in PE. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we've got some good ones. All
No,
right.
very good.
And what kind of things do you cook, and what are you good at cooking?
Not really. I'm a bra man. I
Okay.
could bra 5, 6 times a week.
Oh, is
Yeah, no, and I try different things.
Yeah.
I've got a gas stove as well, a gas bra, and I've tried things in that as well. So it's not just the normal chops and sausage. I like to bra outdoors, So or
nice.
like to cook outdoors. Yeah.
Good. All right. We're heading to Would You Rathers. There's a few Would You Rathers. He has got a thing for it.
Yeah, he looks like
Here we go. Okay, how's this one? Would you rather score lots of runs in a Currie Cup final and lose, or make a duck and win?
No, definitely duck and win. Duck and win.
I believe that did happen now.
I don't think it was a duck. I sat and
Did you sit in your pads for 2 days and watch Flam Michal get
Yeah, I watched Kenny Watson, Kenny McEwen get 190, and I watched Philip Am get 200.
Yeah.
And then Kepler said to me, "I think you should have a break." Mentally, it was tough, so I went and took my pads off. And as I took my pads off, a wicket fell, and Flamengo went out to bat in front of me. Then I had to pad up again because I didn't want to go down another one. And then I watched Flum get 78. Okay. So I sat for another half a day with my pads on. So I sat for 2.5 days with my pads on, and then went out to bat and played one of the worst shots that I think I've played in my cricket career, and got out. And then had to field for 3 days.
But you'd do it all again if you could win the Currie Cup, of course.
Definitely. No, this year that was unbelievable. 1989.
Yes. That's a funny one. Thanks to Rob Taylor for remembering that.
Thanks, Rob.
All right, let's have a look. Would you rather be a star of a bad team or be paid a lot, and be star of a bad team and be paid a lot, or would you be an average player on a cracker team?
Sure. But I mean, there's no pay there. I'd like to be
No,
an average
in the
player.
cracker team, there's like crap pay. No, yeah. You're like one of the run of the mill.
No, look, I mean, obviously being a star player, you're going to get another contract somewhere else. You know what I mean?
That's like saying, how many wishes do you want? And you say, well, I have 1 wish and then I'll wish for another 20 wishes.
Yeah, no, listen, these days you need to be a star player if you want to get a good contract.
All right.
So I'm going to take star
enough.
player, unfortunately, on that one.
Okay. Would you rather be an average player with a good reputation, or a top player who's paid a lot with lots of rumors about his cheating on him?
No. Then I'd rather be average. I'd rather be average.
Okay. Integrity more important to you than that money.
No, listen, yeah.
You could be paid a lot. It's just rumors of the cheating. It's not actually cheating. It's just rumors.
No. I'm too sensitive for that. I don't like being in trouble. No.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. We got it. All right. Finally, the either ors. We got the either ors. Oh, just do a couple of them because you got to go and have your supper as well.
Yeah, no problem.
You kept us talking here the whole night. I think we got a world record here as well. Okay, comedy or thrillers?
Thrillers.
Thrillers. Dancing or cooking classes?
Dancing.
Hey, and a bit of karaoke.
No, definitely not.
Okay, all right. Amusement park or historical site?
No, amusement park. No, please.
Amusement park. No, historical.
No.
No, honestly, you've got to grow as a person, Dave. Sue Rhodes will agree with me. Historical's much better. Okay, dye your hair or natural color?
Sorry, you broke up there?
Dye your hair or natural color?
Natural color. Natural, yeah.
Okay, just checking. Okay. Living in the past or the present?
Present.
There's it. Ask permission or beg forgiveness?
Beg forgiveness.
Big party or small gathering?
Small gathering.
Okay, preferred. Money or free time?
Free time, man. Free time.
Okay, all right. Honesty or others' feelings?
Honesty or?
Others' feelings.
Honesty, yeah.
Honesty. So even if you're just gonna hurt them, man.
No, I thought it was the other way around.
Oh no.
No. If you say it like that, then I'm very
See, I can
sensitive
change
to
your
other
mind.
people.
No, but you got to be honest with a guy. You can't carry on, because the more you tell him he's good, then the worse it's gonna be. You know. I'm getting.
Yeah,
all of a sudden I've got a huge light on me. You know.
No, I think that's yeah. You look at it either way, but yeah, honesty was my number one. So let's stick with honesty.
All right, we'll stick with honesty. Okay, we'll go. It was. I can convince you. I can see I can change your mind. Yeah, on these.
You can change. Yeah.
All right. Final one here. Working alone or working in a team?
Definitely working in a team, man.
That's the one. That's the
one.
Oh.
Yeah. I think that's one of the parts of. I think when you retire from sport, it's one of the parts that you miss the most. Is with not having the same camaraderie, the same team, and network around you. I think that is one of the hardest things to try and get used to. You're in a big world now, and you know in business and doing those type of things. And there's often you look around and it's just you there. You know, so it's it's a challenge at times. I must be honest.
Yeah. You say talking about business as well. You're in with Capitec now, hey?
Yeah, I've been with Capitec for 10 years. And now I've been just recently moved to Mercantile Bank, which is a division of Capitec Bank. Which is offering all the Capitec clients and other clients business banking. So it's been it's been a big change, eh? Big change.
Okay. Here you go. Dave can organise great golf days. Always willing to give back to the game. Is she wanting you to organise a golf day, Dave?
Look, I will only organise another golf day if Moraine does the golf that helps assist with me.
All right. Okay, no, because she's I'm sure she will.
She's brilliant.
And Spies, is that Louise Quibus? That looks like a joint account.
Yeah, it looks like
a joint Facebook account.
Yeah, thanks very much, Louise and Spies.
Is it Louis? Oh, is it Louise? I don't know. Louis.
Yeah.
Okay, you go. And Barry Moller, there we go. It's all the way overseas. I think Barry Moller, if that's the right Barry Moller, I'm looking at as well. But Dave, you've been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for coming aboard.
Gino, thanks very much for having me. It's been so nice to share some of the stories and share them with you and all the people that I've seen here. And thanks to all the people that have left comments.
So much love out there, man. There's lots of love out there. Holy moly.
It is unbelievable, the support that we have and the memories that we have that we can share together. And this is it's a great medium, and well done to you and Gary and the Center Stage people for putting this together. I think it's been magnificent.
No, it's lekker. It's been because we had to get online. You got to pivot. You know what I mean? I see Michelle Riddle online saying, "Fantastic interview, thanks, man." And you are one of the nicest, most humble people I know. You know, you've done so much in your career, your life, and you've managed to stick to your Eastern Cape roots as well. You know, Brian Wilkinson saying it's a magnificent show. You're a star that shines forever, Dave.
Thanks very much, Brian. Thank you, Gino.
You said when Dave walked out, you're right. I remember that time. Philippa and I were both there, and it was amazing. It was all hot. You've overcome so much as well in your own life, in your personal life, and still come through with for everybody around you. It's been amazing.
I think also the most important thing for me is that when those sort of memories are, and I do recall when I finished retiring, and because of the wonderful support that I had during my sporting career, and those special moments like walking out to bat at St. George's and that when I left, I remember leaving Port Elizabeth and driving down to Cape Town for this, this job that I had down there. And it was really lovely to be able to move out of PE, I thought it was going to be beautiful to not move out of, but there was always this sort of feeling of, and I don't know if anybody else has ever had that almost that feeling of guilt that, that I'm leaving this place behind, that's just given me so many memories and given me so many joyous moments. It's just unbelievable. And I was driving, with the whole family in tow, with 2 cars and boats, and then I was just going to go make this new life in Cape Town. And we did. We had a great time there for 3 years. And I remember making the decision to come back to Port Elizabeth, and it was just like, I'm going, I want to go back. This is where I belong. And I phoned the schools. I phoned Great Junior School, Linda Pearson. I phoned Collegiate. I phoned Pam. In those days, I was with Pam Golding. And I phoned them and I said, I'm in. And I went in and I put my briefcase down or my computer down on the desk, and I said to my boss, I'm out of here. I'm going back to the Eastern Cape.
My word.
And he looked at me and he going, what do you mean? I said, I'm out of here. I'm going back to where I belong. That's where I want to go. So
absolutely.
And that all came about because of the people that supported me in my career while I was here in PE. I just felt the homecoming, and that's why it's lovely to go away, but it was always nice to come back.
Yeah. Your tribe is here as well. Your people are here. Well, a couple of questions I just asked right at the end. Your proudest moment?
Well, I think it has to go to the 169. I mean, I think that would have to be my proudest moment.
Yeah. Amazing.
As an individual, my individual, and then obviously, my kids. I mean,
kids.
You can't
always.
Lee and Sean are my pride. And Lee and Sharon and I are just so grateful to have 2 magnificent kids.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then I always ask your most embarrassing moment.
The one with me, everything takes a little bit of a story. So I was fielding it at the opening of the new Free State Stadium, and what happened was Brian McMillan had pulled out, so they flew me up to take his place. Now, if you knew Brian McMillan he took an extra large or extra
big
large, and I
tall
took,
guy.
the big oak, big oak. And I took a large. So what they did was they gave me his clothes to play. So, and at one stage the ball was going down to the boundary, and I was chasing it, and I dived to stop it, and I pulled it back, and then I slid over the boundary rope, but not. And what happened was, as I was sliding over, my pants had slipped off as well. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was on the one side of the boundary rope, and the ball was on the other side of the boundary rope, and it was trickling slowly towards the boundary. So I had to make a choice to stand up and save the 4, or lie down and let the ball go. Let the ball go for 4 and pull my pants up while I was lying down. Well, I didn't. I took the team was more important, as I said.
No contest.
I stood up with nothing on, jumped over the rope, and threw the ball back to the keeper, and then pulled my pants up.
Excellent. You got to go. Take it for the team.
Take it for the team, boy.
Absolutely. I see Glenn Blom's.
Yeah, I don't know what we did in those days. We used to wear the jock strap, just the ball sock thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, bad news. Oh, that is bad. Glenn Blom. How's it, Glenn? He's saying Jason Venn and Neil
Hello,
Duplessis.
Glenn.
Duplessis. Oh, and Keith Clark. Keith Clark gives me the little gin that I put in here. Thanks, Keith. Look out, it's low, Keith. It's low again.
No, I think so.
You know?
Gino, I think you should get that man on the show. He is the Tommy tourist of the world, that guy.
He is. He's been all over the place.
Yeah.
And he's a great Rolling Stones fan, which I quite like, Keith.
No.
Rolling Stones fan. I enjoy the Stones.
We have a wonderful calamari classic together with Keith every year. We play in the calamari classic in St. Francis.
Yes.
And he's got a group of friends and that come down from Cape Town, and Sharon and I join, and we got old Flammy Micho.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we all join up together, and we every year. So
excellent.
Yep, and that's my Janet. Is if I don't can say hello, Janet. She's
from Dublin.
Ireland.
Ireland.
And Don, Janet and Don live in Ireland.
Lovely.
She's my my dad's sister.
And
let me just tell you, I don't want to give her age away, but she just got a hole in one. Can you believe it?
Whoa!
Yeah.
That's excellent. That's insane. Well done, Janet. It's better than I've done. I tell you what.
She can put her own age on the group.
Oh no, it's fine. Never always lie about a woman's age. Just
no, and I don't mention it either.
It's Marcel Michael, not Flum, he says.
Oh, gee, okay, sorry.
Oh, is a difference? Not Flum anymore. What is he lost his flames?
That's one grey. That's one grey.
Oh, there we go. Callis is slower than my marathon time. You mean for the 10K?
In 10K, yeah.
For the 10K.
I've been connected yet. It's the third one. Chiefers, sorry,
you
Janet.
checked it. Is it the third? A third one is it corrected now? It's the third hole in one. Three and a hole in ones. Oh man, I see that there's a whole bunch of comments coming on as well. Gary's just putting them through to say, how's it, Grant Courtney?
Yeah, Grant was an old boss of mine when I was at Strand Farm. Grant, how are you going? I'm glad to see you listening. Yeah.
Bit of fun there, lovely.
We just popped up there, another ex-PE man, Michael Sacchi.
Oh, Michael Sacchi, yes.
From New Zealand. The
Isuzu lovely.
Man. Yeah, also, there we go, Michael.
Okay. Oh, from also Isuzu.
Yeah, I'm glad. He also took a while to get to join his family, and I'm sure he's happy to be there with his family in New Zealand, yeah.
I saw George Stegman on here as well. He's also ex-Delta Delta GM as well, and but we could be here all night now, Dave.
No,
honestly, we've got the competition to do, and I haven't got my drums here, so we're gonna do something special. We're gonna take all the comments and we're just gonna throttle them around, and it doesn't matter. Whoever wins is gonna win a case of Fitch and Leeds. You'll be getting one too, by the way. I'm sure either that or we'll go take a trip to Gary de Bruin while we're here in St. Francis.
I'll go and visit Gary. Yeah.
Hey Gary, we'll organise you your Fitch and Leeds, and also so we've got a competition here. You can see it there. We've got all the comments together, and then we're going to see who's going to win. Let's give it a go. There we go, and then round and round it goes. Nice big names so that we can see what's happening.
Sure.
Wayne Brown, Dave, what's it going to be? It's slowing down. And it's Moraine! All right. Oh, fantastic. Well, we got a winner there. And Moraine, we'll organise you your Fitch and Leeds. And thank you very much for joining us on Gino's Spot tonight. Thank you to Dave. Oh, there we go. Gary de Bruin saying you're welcome already.
Yeah,
thank you for your time. Dave, you've been an absolute legend. What a pleasure to have you on. And
thanks so much, Gino.
It's a pleasure. And Saturday night we've got Roseanne Shadrack on Saturday night. So please pop in, have a look. We're going to chat to her. She's been involved in Spa. She's got all sorts of stories for us, and we are going to have a good time. Thank you for joining us on Gino's Spot, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to Spa, and thank you to Fitch and Leeds. And thank you to Keith for the punters. And then a Mobia for the internet. Thank you. And we'll see you on Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. Woo-hoo!
Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. Well, drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver. Get to Gino's spot. Gino's spot. Get to Gino's